What is the
Hey,
crack, YouTubers? Welcome to another hobby hangout. It's myself, Skarnir, and our special guest,
hello,
Oliver.
it's me. I'm new to this, but I like it already. Yeah, how are you doing?
Awesome sauce. We're gonna get some hobby on, Oliver. What have you got lined up for today?
I've got the most boring project ever, something I hate doing. I'm doing all of the unclipping of two Warcry sets of terrain.
So you're
So,
you're, you're getting your build on. You're getting your
yeah,
build.
I think even 2 hours is not going to get me done here, but I'll keep at it. It's boring, it's grey, it's fine. It needs to be done.
Uh, yeah, it's one of those essentials. It really is when it comes to building. Are you like? What's your favorite aspect of the hobby then? Do you like building and converting, or are you more of a painting guy, or
I
is
don't
it
know. Do you know what?
gaming?
I go through phases of like I'm really into something for like a couple of weeks or a week or two. I'll be like, I love painting. All I want to do is paint, and then I don't want to touch a paintbrush again. And then we're like hobbying or like modeling or playing. Do you know what I mean? I tend to go through patches of all of it.
Bursts of enthusiasm. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
and then I won't touch it for
I
six
get you.
months. Like, um, it's the worst. But it's okay as long as I can take advantage of whatever it is. But you can like crank yourself into one of them though if you need to do something, and then you kind of get into it, and then you finish it. You know.
Yeah, yeah. I get
Crazy.
like I'm terrible if I set myself a specific goal. It's like I need to get something finished by this time. I never. It's like my mind wanders. Then
Yeah.
I get distracted. I'll be like, oh, I'm supposed to be painting grots, and I'll go and throw some green stuff on some war bikes or something instead. Do you know
I'm
what I
with you.
mean? I have that
Yeah,
type of brain.
I'm the worst. I've basically got projects set up for the next couple of videos. So it's like putting some armies together. I'm going to do some more painting stuff. And I'm like, right, I need to finish these Space Marines. I need to finish those knights and do whatever. And then I was painting Blood Bowl characters and Warcry models. Like, why? They were not, I meant not even meant to be on the table, but they just happened. I was like, got it. And then I did one and then something else. Yeah, I'm trying to like lock in to get all my grey projects done. I think now is kind of the plan,
Sweet.
rather than having endless unpainted models.
Well, yeah, I suffer from that myself. For anyone who's in the chat and who's subscribed to me and is not subscribed to Oliver, Oliver does have his own channel. You'll find a link in the description below for his Broadsword Wargaming channel.
That's
And he
right.
does some absolutely cracking content.
Ah, thank
Well,
you,
it
darling.
is top notch, mate. Top notch.
Thank you. Yeah, it's actually today is my 1 year YouTube anniversary. Would you
Oh
believe
well,
it?
well.
A year ago today, I put my first video out. I wanted to do one a week. That was my target, and I have managed it. I've done 54 videos actually. So
Fair play to you, man. Holy
yeah,
shit. Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
I think you've been doing it for a few more years than me, right? So you know it's a bit
Ah,
of a slog.
well, you know, like, I mean, I've had a YouTube channel for 10 years, but I
10
haven't
years,
been
man.
putting out a video once a week. Nah, I go through it. You know how it is. It's like sometimes in life, especially like with the hobby as well. I find the YouTube is sort of a supplement to my hobby to get me to doing stuff. So when life has sort of gotten in the way of the hobby every now and then, it drops off a bit. But I've tried to stick to a stream every 2 weeks, and it seems to be working. So
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
I've caught the last couple of yours now. You've definitely been doing a fair few, haven't you? Like, always got a stream going on with someone as well, which is great. It's hard to organize these things and get hold of people. So hats off, man. Like, it's tough.
they're cool crack.
It's hard enough organizing myself, yet alone having someone else.
Wow. You're preaching to the choir here, bud. You're in good company. Don't worry about that. You're definitely in good company.
It's when you start doing the live streams with yourself or an animal, and you're like, yes.
It's like, oh no.
So what are you working on today? I can't see you, but I'm sure you're doing something orky related.
I am gonna be throwing some base coats onto my Gretchen models for me little 1500 point army that myself, Steve-O, Dread, and the hobby gate, the four of us.
Oh, nice.
Uh,
You've got like some new combi channel. Is that right? There's some new sort
yeah,
of combine going
I
on.
keep forgetting to I keep forgetting to segue and promote things. You're very
Promote
good at
yourself,
this,
man.
Oliver. You're catching on quick. I like this. Yeah. Yeah, the war bosses of the apocalypse. It's a combined channel. We're doing like one video a month. For now, that's what we're aiming for, and yeah, it's just all things orky. You know yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, you're an orky bunch, right? I've been chatting a bit to Dreadwire as well, actually. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
like getting him on and over at some point. I just got that new Prophecy of the Wolf set. I ordered one for myself and one for him. So I think we'll be after Gazgul for that, I'm sure.
Nice.
I just got that sent through the other day from a company over in the UK. So thanks to them. And now, yeah, it'd be nice to think we get him over on the channel, have a few games, get yourself down as well. It'd be good, wouldn't it?
Well, that's it. Yeah, you're in Ireland. You're you're within driving distance. You know what I mean? So it's doable. You know, we never know.
And I'm not Irish, obviously, but here I am now. Well, I won't say I'm one of you because I'm not, am I? But,
Yeah. Look, give it, give it 10 years. Once you're here long enough, you become Irish. You become adopted. You know what I mean? You know how it is.
I think I want that right now, anyway, so that's fine.
As long as you can make a decent cup of tea, Oliver, you know, we won't give you the
I'll
bill.
do my best. I can order a pizza and pour a pint, so that'll do, won't it?
That's half the battle sorted already. Half the battle. As long as you're not one of these putting the milky in before the tea bag sorts. You know what I mean? That's just.
I'm not a sicko, no. I may be mad, but I'm not insane, right?
I was horrified at the prospect of certain individuals do actually exist. I was like, what?
Why?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'm not the biggest of tea drinkers, but you know, I'll do it properly when I do.
You put the yeah. That's it. That's the important thing. We have a few people have rocked in. Quite a few you get, a lot of orky faces, a lot of the usuals. What's the crack, folks? Don't forget to post your work in progress in the Discord as we go along, and we'll have a look near the end of the hobby hangout section.
So other people are hobbying along as well, are they? And then we'll see what they're up to.
Yeah, we'll have a gander at the end, Oliver. That's the plan.
Very good,
obviously,
very good.
folk don't have to post up and share their stuff, but if you want it, there's a work in progress section to the Discord for the 40k.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah,
there's a big orky crowd, is it then out there? Are you all orky lots? Orky gits?
Yeah. A lot of us are orky gits. Currently, that's what I'm chipping away on, is doing this 1500 point army. I do have plans of doing other stuff, you know what I mean, for the channel, but orc centric, mostly orc centric. I've been tempted by Blood Bowl lately, Oliver.
I was just gonna say, right? You know, I can't get the Blood Bowl League. I've been playing lots of Blood Bowl online, and I want to start doing some Blood Bowl on the channel. I actually run a few tournaments over in the UK and played a few. So, like, I know my Blood Bowl a bit now, and I'm working on a couple of tables at the moment as well. So, yeah, I'd like some live Blood Bowl, but we've actually been playing some online Blood Bowl, haven't we?
We have indeed, yeah. Started a little league, and I think you've got me with the bug. Your sneaky shenanigans. I see what you were up to. It's like, oh, we'll dabble with a game a little bit, lads, and we'll see who catches the bug. And it's like, I'm actually enjoying it.
Everyone is sort of within the vicinity of the studio or in Ireland, so you know there was a plan there, right? We'll all improve together. We'll all get into some Blood Bowl, and somehow you'll have a Blood Bowl orc team.
Yeah. Exactly.
Good team, though, right? Good fun, except for the last game where I had to ditch off a blitzer because you injured me and I killed one of your blitzers. So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I played. Yeah, that's it. The last match I played against your team. Yeah.
Yeah. You permed one of mine, so I had to get rid of it, and I killed your one. So it was blitzer for blitzer, wasn't it, in that game?
Even exchange. Yeah. I'm not. I don't play much Blood Bowl. I don't know why. I never really sort of got into it. It never really. I don't know what it was. It never really sort of spoke to me, but I've been enjoying it. So I'm seeing about ordering a Blood Bowl team.
You definitely should, man. Like some orcs versus humans. I play humans generally, but I like yourself actually. I've been hobbying for like, what am I, 32, something like that now. I've been hobbying since I was 5 years old. I've got older brothers who got into it, so I got my first set of Eldar Guardians when I was 5. And
I've heard of keen on the hobby, but there's like that's super keen. I love it.
5. I know.
5. Impressive.
I remember my first model was like that, a lovely yellow guardian with the blue head. I mean, it was literally dunked in. It was awful. But my brother got Tyranids and my other brother got Blood Angels. And oddly, we all kind of still play the same armies. Do you know what I mean? Even 25, 30 years later. Like, I don't know, the first one that I liked is still the ones I like now. But I never played Blood Bowl for all those years. I hated it. I didn't like the idea of like football. I didn't really get it. Only the last couple of years when I was running a pub over in the UK, I thought I can run a tournament. I started playing online and just thought this game's awesome.
Do you know what? I had the same sort of reservations and thinking of the game as well. I'm like, it's based off of like American football sort of ish and a sport, and I was like, I couldn't be bothered. That was my perception of it. But once you actually get playing it, it's good crack. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I think I'm just a bit of a sucker for anything that's like experience based as well. I like Mordheim or Gork and Mork, like leveling up. I love like leveling up and stuff. So the fact you can get like new stats on your characters and stuff or deaths is good. And
progression. Yeah,
it's a nice feeling killing someone's like star player, right? That's like
put the foul in, get them killed. I'm sure they'd be only too pleased with you.
Yeah, see you, buddy. Yeah, exactly. It's a good way to lose all your friends.
Sure, who needs them anyway? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's good fun. So I enjoy it. So I'm glad you've got the bug. I think get yourself some orcs together. There's only like 13 models, really, 14 you'll need in a team. You can do that in a year, can't you?
Yeah, well, yeah. No, that's what. Yeah, that's what I like about it. I like those sort of games too, where there's sort of like progression, experience progression, and you build up a narrative as you play along. So I've always been a fan of like, I used to play Necromunda back in the day a bit, and then Gorka Morka, even Battlefleet Gothic and stuff, because it had a really good campaign system. I
forget about Battlefleet Gothic. Yeah, that was experience based as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good, man. You could get it was very, very good campaign based.
Yeah,
that's what I really like. Like when it came to Battlefleet Gothic, I think it came to standalone games didn't really work as well the game. But if you played in a campaign, because you had to take into account your losses would be long term. You know what I mean? You'll play a different style.
Yeah, if it's a one-off game in anything, you don't really care. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter
you just go.
You leave the guys. But yeah, I remember that. You get like better stat upgrades and stuff, didn't you? And better leadership and things like that for your ships, didn't you? You used to get
leaderships. You could get some upgrades or some stuff as well if you rolled for it.
Were you playing orcs then?
Oh yeah. Oh, like Oliver, just orcs for Battlefleet Gothic, orcs for Epic. That was how I got into Battlefleet Gothic. I was like, if a 40k army. Do you know what would be great if we did a campaign where there was like a star map and you fought, space battles, and then you did like planet strikes. That was the idea. That was the concept. Never got around to it, but I still have the fleet, so maybe one day.
I'd love to do the whole like space battle first, then like an apocalypse battle, then a 40k game, and then a kill team game. Do you know what I mean? Like the triple pyramid of big into tiny. Like that would just be kind of cool.
Definitely.
And if you don't get enough ships through, you lose something in the next game, and then
have a knock-on effect. Yeah, I had a similar thought, something like that, where it's like Battlefleet Gothic, do like a planet strike mission, maybe use kill team for like hitting ammo depots, and you'll build up to like an apocalypse game, and maybe if your kill team destroyed the ammo dump for the other guys or captured one, it'll give you like a reroll and one round of shooting, or something like that. I'm sure.
I'd love that kind of idea. We should butt heads and think of something really, like a little triple day campaign thing. It would be quite fun.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan. It does. I've been trying to write up a scenario for an orc mega battle where it's like orcs on orcs. So I'd be interested in scenario ideas, like how people approach things. It'd be fun, like homebrew rule stuff. You know what I mean? I think our hobbies kind of. I think that was more of a thing back in the day, Oliver. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think now, like, particularly as like additions and things, like say, look at the death of like Warhammer Fantasy, right? That was my biggest game when I was younger, and like just because Games Workshop don't support it doesn't mean we can't play it. But we're all of the mentality. I'm the same. Like I don't have my armies anymore. Well, I think we've got an Empire army knocking around, but I don't play it because it's not supported. So that's become a new thing now. Like we only go on with the current editions, but like as you said, like before, like you'd make your own rules and you'd play games that weren't just by the book a bit. You'd homebrew things, you'd home rule stuff, you'd house rule things. I think that's kind of gone a little bit in the hobby now. I think Games Workshop have really like tightened up on how they play stuff, and it's certainly had a knock-on effect with the community. But as far as like making your own missions and stuff, like why not? I think one of the best games I ever had was when I was in Games Workshop Peterborough, actually, where I used to live over in the UK, and we had like this big, just like, I don't know, like 5 people against 5 people kind of thing. And I had like this one Razorback. In the old edition, you could like blow off a track and blow off a bit of turret.
Oh, yeah. The Land Raider pillbox days.
Right, that's it. I had a Razorback with like the las cannon and the 2 plasma guns on the top. It was just a turret at the end. And it was like shaking, it had no tracks on, couldn't move. But it was there holding these like endless tide of Tyranids, just like killing the big things every time. It's kind of like, I was like homemade scenario, but it was just awesome. It's like a good time, And now I think we've sort of restricted ourselves a little bit for some reason. I don't really know why we've done it, but we all do it now. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not against home brewing stuff and home ruling things, and just have fun with it. That's what the whole hobby's meant to be about, right? It's not meant to be so serious. Like we play a lot of tournaments and that's fine, but you just enjoy the game and do what the hell you want to do. Really, why not? It's our models. Yeah.
Exactly. I think you're right there. There is a lot of a focus on tournament play at the moment coming from Games Workshop themselves, which isn't an issue, you know what I mean? But it's
No,
a it's always good to play like a narrative style game, um, where
yeah.
you just make the scenario yourself.
I think there's a lot to be done for like a lot of channels, a lot of places, and a lot of like sites and whatever, all focused on like the competitive element and like I don't know, kill team Imperial Guard. You have to take 10 plasma guns or 8 plasma guns because that's the only way to play. It's not, though, is it? Like,
Oh, min maxing.
yeah,
Well,
and that's like spamming stuff is kind of so prevalent now in the industry.
yeah,
But it doesn't have to. It depends how you play, I guess. Like I tend to play games where it's not like that. I don't unless it's a tournament, then you expect that kind of thing.
yeah.
That's different. But yeah,
Yeah, I suppose in tournaments you'd expect something different. I think it really depends on who you play with. Like if you have like three or four other guys and you are all of the same sort of mentality, where you don't want to min max everything, I think you can get big enjoyment. When you're gonna have problems, most likely the way I'd see it, and I could be wrong on this, but it's if you have like one player in your group who sort of min
yeah,
maxes, and then it's sort of like a race, or an arms race. That's it. It's sort of
yeah.
like an arms race at that stage. It's like, well, he's got all these plasmas, so I need to counter, otherwise, it'll just roll him. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's it. I think like yourself, I don't really like my community is good. Like I'm obviously here now in Ireland, it's really good. But back in the UK, I had like quite a few regular opponents, and I'd arrange to meet up with people, random people at Warhammer World for a game, say. But I'd always be like beforehand, be like, okay, like what sort of list are you taking? I don't really want to just like take an auto win or auto lose list. I want to have fun with it. So
Yeah.
everyone I ever played was really fair and really good. I've had a couple of people in tournaments where like they're taking super cheesy lists, but it's a tournament that can be expected. But yeah, overall, I don't tend to really play games where it's like I'm looking to really maximize my list and spend loads more money on buying like 10 of the same thing.
Yeah. It can get a little bit like that, but yeah, I reckon it's all about what you make of it.
I think that's one of the good things I've got certainly with some of the players around here and on the channel for the battle reports. It's like it's not. I will do some competitive games because I should because it's part of the game. But
Oh
I
yeah,
quite like
we're not
lists.
saying don't. Yeah, dabble with
No.
everything though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've got competitive lists for like my 30k and stuff, but don't generally play them unless I'm going somewhere where you'd be expected to.
Yeah, exactly. The right sort of list for the job.
Yeah.
Employ that approach going forward.
Do you get many tournaments over here in Ireland? Is there much of a tournament scene?
Yeah, there are a few tournaments that do be going on. Yeah, there's a few 40k ones, and like I don't like myself personally. I only it's only really 40k orcs. I never I used to play Warhammer Fantasy back in the day, like yourself, but I never really got into Warhammer Fantasy orcs because
Right.
I absolutely hated the animosity rules for them.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah. Orcs are kind of like pretty much a hit and miss army back then. I think generally miss, right? You just end up fighting each other and killing.
It never, this whole concept of orcs infighting on the battlefield when the enemy's in front of them never sort of swam with me. It's like, yeah, orcs infight when there's no enemy about. You know what I mean? Whereas I don't know. I just didn't like. I don't find the idea fun of like even with some of the Tyranids codexes through the years. I don't like the idea of. It's bad enough your enemy's going to be destroying your units. When your own units start destroying themselves, it's like it sort of takes the fun out of it for me.
Yeah, it can be pretty pivotal as well in a game. It's fine not to have to necessarily rely on something to do the job, but when it's even worse and it just kills your own stuff, then it can just end a game. Through no fault of your own or your opponent's, and that's not that much fun, is it? It's like,
Yeah,
oh, well.
exactly. You don't.
On the other end of it, like, oh well, I pretty much won now because you wiped yourself out. Like, it's no fun.
Yeah.
I like to kill the Tyranids or orcs myself.
Exactly. Like I'm not precious with them. I think that was one of the first things I learned when I was playing orcs. It took me I think the first 3 or 4 games, and I realized I'm like, oh, with orcs you're because I used to play Space Wolves beforehand. But
Right.
with orcs, I had to get used to the concept. I think of taking handfuls of miniatures off the board, but
Yeah,
everything's
they're going to die.
still all right. Like it's all good.
You take off 20 Space Wolves, you're like, oh shit. You take
Yeah,
off 30 orcs. It's normal, isn't it?
yeah, exactly. I
You're
used to
painting
be.
drops right now, I think. So they'll
Oh, exactly. Cannon fodder for the win. I'm well used to it at this point.
Yeah. And do you get many games in where you are? Is there a decent community over your way?
Yeah, I'm in Dublin. So there's a few different places. Um, there's a games workshop. Then we've a local gaming store, and then there's a pub I've started going to every
nice.
second Tuesday. And they play 40k or play BattleTech, that sort of thing. You know what I mean? I've been getting a few games in up until we went into lockdown, sadly.
Yeah, yeah. How have you got on with that with your channel and stuff? Is it some sort of the same old thing, or you're just painting away, I suppose?
Yeah. For now, like I'm just trying to do my hobby hangouts. It's I've been meaning to try and sit down and do some videos. I've got a lend of a camera, off of someone temporarily. It's a really cracking camera, but I'm having problems trying to get like a card reader, but it's not working for me. So I'm having problems trying to transfer the data over. So it can be annoying when something technical like that gets in your way. It's like, oh, I've shot the footage, but I'm trying to upload it, and we'll get there in the end, Oliver. We'll get there in the end.
What camera are you looking at? What camera have you got there?
It's a Nikon D500.
Yeah, that'll do. That'll do the job.
Cracking ones. But there's a part of me that's afraid of using it as well, because I'm like, I only have a lens of this, so you know, if I do like 4K filming or something like that, and then I go back to using webcams, people will be like, wait a minute.
Yeah, what's happened here?
Yeah, standards have dropped, Skarnir. What's happening?
Losing the plot. No, you well, that's it. Have fun with it. I think definitely it's like you'll notice the difference. I think when you start using like those kinds of cameras. I mean, I don't have one that good myself, but yeah, it's great. It's good fun. It's sort of a new hobby though. Like
it seems like that.
I'm new to editing. I've never really done it by this last year. Certainly hit the ground with it, I think. But it's good fun once you figure it out, and then it's frustrating, but it's fine.
There's quite a few things I find are like that. It's sort of, you need to, especially if you're going to be doing like a YouTube channel, there's like peripheral stuff that you'll bring into the fold, but they're hobbies in and of themselves, even for our hobby when it comes to painting and stuff. So it's like people are talking about 3D printers. Like 3D printers is a rabbit hole all in of itself. That's an entity all to itself.
I'd say so.
Airbrushing as well. It's like you can go on a mad one on airbrushing, and you might start off painting miniatures, and then God knows where that'll bring you. But they're I've actually started. I just did a video the other day where I was talking about, or today actually, or yesterday, where I was talking about like tips and things that have helped me improve. And an airbrush. I've had an airbrush for a year, and I went on one airbrush course in the UK. And actually, I get like kidney stones. I got kidney stones on the course, and I had to go to hospital. But oh my God.
It was really bad. So it kind of put me off airbrushing. I've not really tried much, but I've been using it more and more recently, and it's kind of changed my life, to be honest. It's that good.
For the better, I hope. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Changed my life. I hate hobbying. No, it's just so good. It just does things I can't do with a brush, really, or if I do, it would take me forever. It's certainly worth it. It's not as complicated as like everyone kind of makes out that it's this big thing that you can't do, but you definitely can. You know?
Yeah, I think you're right. That's the sort of mentality you need to have, is sort of a can-do mentality.
Yeah, just get stuck in. I think, but I understand completely. Like I say, I've had an airbrush here for a year and I've never touched it, just out of like fear, really, which is mad. But it is. The more you start doing it, the more I think, oh, I'd like a new compressor and a new airbrush and some new whatever, and then it's a sinkhole again for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like, oh, I could buy a box set of these guys, or I could buy like a new airbrush and needles, and yeah. It's the
same with the cameras though. Like I think I've just bought new tripods, and I'm looking at new like lenses and stuff. And
lenses, I couldn't when my missus was showing me the price of lenses, I was like, how much?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's more than the camera.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have like Top Gear by any means. It's pretty entry level, but like, I do have like 5 cameras, which is a nightmare. But
for all the angles.
Yeah, all the angles. 5 shots of my face.
Exactly. Well, look, you edited it together well. Like I have to say, I'm really impressed with you. Like you're only doing it a year, but you've hit the ground running, and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, it's
really
been a
impressed, man.
learning curve, a bit of learning experience, really. But I've done a head. I've done one thing. How good's that?
Sweet.
It's the dream.
Hold on,
Woo! Big
we'll do guest cam close up. Give us a look there. Stay out of the blur zone.
wait, hold on, no, not God, my out of focus camera. Right, here we go. Look. Head cam. Yeah. That's what I've been doing. It's taking me like an hour to do that. So.
That's it. As long as we're getting the hobby done.
Yep, just 5 more sprues to go.
I've base coated 4 grots so far. That was number 5. So we're chipping away. We're not. It's not a race, Oliver. We're just sort of savouring it, and
You got to
yourself.
enjoy the process.
Exactly.
So I'm told.
And I'm sure everybody else is getting a bit of hobby done themselves. Don't forget to throw in the comments, guys. Tell us what you're working on. I'll throw in another invite to the Discord.
Yeah, get in here.
In there, and then you just can throw your L work in progress there. We'll have a gander. If you're willing to share, it's up to you.
Don't leave us hanging. Don't leave us hobby hanging out on our own.
Exactly. Yeah. Share the love. Definitely good crack. But yeah, I've got an order coming in from UK. I normally order stuff in from UK myself. And I'm still waiting for the Saga of the Wolf stuff.
That's what I meant. Prophecy, whatever it's called. That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah. Prophecy of the Wolf Saga. I don't. One of them. We know what it is. You know what I mean?
It's got Ragnar and big Gazgul in it. Exactly. It's certainly a box for the orcs. That one, isn't it? It's an orc value box. I think more so than Marines.
Yeah, because I'm an orc player, and I was looking at the Space Wolf half of it, and I'm like, it's a bit naff.
It's just like 10 guys that you can just buy and Ragnar, and then but orcs you get what? Gazgul, Makari, 5 knobs and 5 dudes.
Yeah, you get like Gazgul, Makari, 5 knobs and 3 mega knobs at least.
That's right.
Yeah,
the super armor dudes. Yeah, that's an orc box, not a marine box.
Super armor dudes, I love it. Most descriptive ever. Super armor dudes, we know exactly what you're talking about, Oliver.
Super armor, heavy dudes in super armor.
But yeah, I was expecting like that the Space Wolves would get a little something extra, because I remember doing a video of it with Steve-O, and we were convinced. It's like, well, what else are the Space Wolves getting? Something else? Do you know what I mean?
A wolf maybe or something, but
something like that. But apparently they killed off his wolves in the lore.
Fenrir, whatever they're called.
Yeah. It's like, lads, we're not sculpting wolves. I know what we'll do. We'll kill them off. All right, fair enough. I think,
yeah, can't be asked.
Yeah, that happens.
They're just called space now, not space wolves anymore, just space.
They defanged them. Is that what it is?
Ah, very good, very good. That's what you did there.
Ba-dum-bum.
You could tell you do this before.
My mate Dame would be so proud. Yeah, I used to collect Space Wolves back in the day, but I don't know. I think I gave up on them when they started putting Space Wolves riding giant Space Wolves. I think it was like the 4th edition codex, and I was like, nah.
That put me off. I used to Space Wolves were my first Space Marine army. I used to have like Bjorn the Fell-Handed in the big lead blob of it.
Oh yeah, man. Like if you dropped him on something or someone, good luck to them.
Throw it at someone. It's a death weapon. But I had them then, and then like yourself actually, when they put Marines on wolves and then made like Wolverine men that are not the Wolfen. I'm not really a fan of those models, and I don't know, just got a bit out of hand for me. I like my high fantasy futuristic stuff to be real, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Look, me myself personally, I think it was a case of they went from being space Vikings to being space ice werewolves. You know what I mean? They sort of they Flanderized them. Is it? It's like where they become a meme of themselves. I think a lot of the
they're a bit of a self joke, aren't they? Yeah. Vikings are cool. Space Vikings are cool. Space werewolf men, not so cool.
Not so much. Yeah.
But I do play loyalists only. Really, I play I suppose you call it Eldar loyalists, but I always play goodies. Like all my heresy armies are all goodies. I am making a Soul Drinkers army right now, but they're goodies. They fight.
They're good guys.
They're good guys. They do the right things, right? They just don't believe in.
They killed the right people.
Yeah, they do. I mean, they kill a few goodies too, but that's not their fault. They get led into these things. I'm a fan of the underdog, so yeah, this can be a cool project. Actually, I don't know if you've read the Soul Drinker stuff at all. If you know much about them.
No, I'm sort of blissfully ignorant of anything that's in power armor. That's just boy
It's not you.
No.
But they're like there's a load of books by Ben Counter. I think he did 6 books a while ago, years ago, and it's cool. They're like a chapter who are loyal, and then they find like one of Dawn's like special weapons, the Soul Spear, and it got stolen from them. They find it, and as they do, the Mechanicum steal it from them, and they end up going to say to the Mechanicum, like, give it back, and they say no, so they board it, kill some Mechanicum, get the spear, and then get declared excommunicatus and traitors and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're not really. And then they go on a bit of a mission where they like believe in the Emperor, but don't believe in the Imperium because it's corrupt. So they're fun, and they got their main leader is a big Spider-Man, half spider, half man. So it's been an awkward conversion to do, but I think I've cracked it. I ordered some Reaper Bones miniature, a giant spider, and I've sort of made some mess, and it's kind of working. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah,
is
cool
it like
project.
mechanical, or is it like a
No, they get possessed sort of by like Zinch, although unknowingly for a while they think it's like the Emperor giving them all these powers, and then they all mutate, and they start getting like a guy gets this like just doesn't take any arm anymore, but his skin like instantly heals. Another guy gets like scales. A guy gets big hand, stuff like that, and they all mutate and they try and stop it. But the leader is like a spider. He actually has a couple of legs ripped off throughout the book, so I've done it so it's like halfway through. He's got like 7 legs and 1 mechanical one, and stuff. It's cool. It's a big model, mind you, for a librarian, but it's cool. I've created a Smash Brarian. I don't know if that's a thing, like a Smash Captain, but a librarian.
Smash
doesn't really work.
He's got like a jump pack type thing, is it?
Yeah. It kind of doesn't really work, but it's fluffy. I've designed a whole army. There's no Primaris in it because there weren't any. Designed a whole army around the fluff, so it's not particularly competitive, but it's good fun, I think.
Yeah, it sounds like fun. It sounds like you've got like you've got inspired by a story, and you're building it narratively. That sounds.
That's what it's about, right? That's the whole hobby is based on like lovely stories, based on nice stories.
There is that sort of like, I've got the Iron Warrior trilogy up there, and I've built like an Iron Warrior kill team, and I'm sort of afraid to read the book because I know what happens when you read books and you really like them. You're like, oh, I wouldn't mind building these characters, and those characters turn into an army. It's like, I know how this works.
That's what happened with the Horus Heresy stuff. That's why I've got like 5 legions or something stupid now, because I was like, oh, they're cool, and they're cool, and they're cool, and then I've got loads of unpainted models. That's how that happens, isn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly how that happens. It's like, oh, these books.
Yeah, they get you. They know what they're doing. Games Workshop are clever.
I know, man. Hello. It's crazy. It's almost like buying miniatures takes a lot less time than painting them. Even myself, I do sometimes forget. It's like, oh, I've loads of unpainted miniatures, but this new thing came out.
Yeah, shiny new thing. Why? Why do we do it? We do it though. Everyone.
Yeah. This is why I was like, when Games Workshop were shut down, some people were like, oh no, and I was thinking to myself, mate, they could be closed for the next 2 to 3 years, and I'd still be building stuff.
I was kind of hoping for this. I don't want lockdown to end. Like, it's fine. I don't need to buy more toys. Although I immediately ordered like 5 things, but
yeah.
I must have Harlequins. Why? I don't need any.
Having that talk with yourself at the start of the year, right? This year is gonna be the year where I don't buy anything. It never lasts. Never.
Yeah, it's had like seven packages that turned up in the last couple of days. Like new camera bits, new toys, new paints, some green stuff, some razor wire that I don't need.
But you might. This is it, Oliver. Though you might need it in the future. You know what I mean?
I might.
You never know.
I don't want to show you the cupboard of shame, but it's bad. It's just piles of toys.
I've stacks of stuff for myself. Stacks. Absolutely.
Why do you do it? Why do we do it?
I don't know. It's the love of the hobby. I think that's what it is.
It is my plan this year, though. It's why I'm doing. So I've got a couple of videos coming up where I'm going to do like some long, big ass painting videos and painting armies, basically. And my new thing is to set out the army list, get it all set up a model, and then just the airbrush is really helping me batch paint things. So just get them all done. Do you know what I mean? And then I can put them away. I don't have to buy any more for that army. I'm not really a fan of like 10,000 point armies because I never use them. So like 2,000 points or 3,000 points, done. Next, done. And I want to like ship on some armies this year, and then I'm got them done, and I can buy more.
Well, yeah, I can get it. So what are you going to do? You're going to make like a set 2,000 point army list and then go from there, is it? Or
Yeah, no, I think I basically designed like a 2,500 point Soul Drinkers army. I've bought all the models. They're all modeled now. Just a couple of conversions to go, and then I'm going to paint them all, and then I won't need to buy any more ever for them. That's my plan. Because why? You know, how often do we play massive games? And I don't play 40k at all. Actually, I've never played a game of 8th edition in my life.
No,
I will be now. I've played 7th edition a lot. I've not played any 8th. So it's
I played a fair bit of 7th. I think, when did I got into the hobby around 97.
okay.
I had, I'm sure like some of my usual subscribers are probably sick of this story right now, but I had begged my parents for like 2 years because one of the guys I went to school with, he brought in some miniatures. He was in my class in primary school, and I had begged them for years, tormented them, and eventually they let me get some.
That's good. They started you off on this hobby crack.
Exactly, yeah. Hence the channel name. I used to just be Skarnir, but it's definitely Plastic Crack Gaming, I think. I should probably change the name to just Plastic Crack Games, because that's what they are.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if it was like Plastic having good crack games or
yeah,
like...
well, it's sort of, I was trying to be smart about it. I was like, you know, crack is an Irish word, as in like good crack, good laugh. So I was like, oh, Plastic Crack, you know, it's a bit of both. You get me? But
that's the way I took it. It's only just occurred to me that you mean plastic crack.
yeah,
I'm slow.
See, I was trying to be too funny. That's what it was.
It worked. It worked, man. I just had, when I said it right there, and I thought, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
That's
These
the whole
are
deal
fake
here.
hands. Everyone loves a good Father Ted reference, definitely.
I've not been watching enough Father Ted, but my partner, she's Irish, so she's got me into it a bit.
Yeah.
What else am I watching? What's the other one? There's like, it's called like, I don't know, like Barry and Mary or something. What's it called? It's like a ginger guy and a woman.
Oh, the Republic of Telly. Yeah, I know the skit you're on about.
Yeah, I've been watching a bit of that as well.
Oh, but yeah. That's bleeding hilarious.
Yeah, it's like Father Ted, right? It's like a silly slapstick, but
yeah, definitely. Where she's driving the car and he wakes up and he's like, Jesus, the roads are really nice here, because it's based in the 80s. And
that's right.
Yeah. And the realization dawns on them. It's like, oh, but Jesus, we're in Northern Ireland because the road quality is good.
Cool. That's good. That's funny. I like that.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. There's a few of them that are pretty funny. I think some of them you'll get in general humor, and some of them are really sort of on the nose for Irish humor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sort of in jokes you get, but it's the same everywhere.
I think I'm a bit of a fan of that kind of comedy though. I like Red Dwarf and Blackadder and stuff like that. You know,
I watched Red Dwarf like about 4 years ago, I think, or something like that. I knew peripherally about it. I think I'd like my granddad would have been watching it on the TV or something like that. So I knew about it passively, but I never sort of put any concentration into it. But I sat down and I think I watched like, I don't know how many seasons there are on Netflix, but there's
10, I think, yeah,
there's loads of them. And I sat down and I enjoyed it. I was surprised. I absolutely love some parts of it, especially as a gamer. Some parts of it just sort of hit home, where he's where they're talking about Risk, and he has his campaign book where he's written down all of the results, and it's like, and I roll a 5, and then he rolled a 6, and then
it's very good. There's one where I think Rimmer and Red Dwarf, where they get like stuck on some planet in a ship, and he's got like all his little Napoleonic toys, and they need heat, so he has to burn them. So he's like burning all his like little painted miniatures and stuff. And you just think like, you just wouldn't do it. You'd rather die than burn your toys.
It's like, do you know how many hours I spent painting these orcs? It's like, yeah. It's like, well, tough.
On the fire.
On the fire with them.
I'd rather freeze to death than set fire to my painted toys. Although I did have a hideous. This is kind of what put me off playing 40k actually for a good while. I didn't play for about a year. I had all my toys stolen out of my car.
What? Oh, do you know, I've heard of such things happen before, but I've never come across someone who's had.
Horrendous. I was moving house into Nottingham. This was in like 2012, something like that. And the one night I was staying at a friend's house whilst I was moving, and I couldn't get into their like private car park. So I parked on the street in like a nice area at another friend's house, and woke up in the morning to the police on the door, and they said, "Oh, is that your car?" Yeah, been broken into. I was like, "What?" And then it was the last like car load up, so it was all my toys in the boot. So there's nothing in the car. You couldn't see anything in the car. It was just what was in the boot under the parcel shelf. But I left a penny jar on the back seat with all my pennies. So that obviously smashed the window, pulled that out, and then ripped the back down. And it's all my toys. I had like a leather jacket and some bits and bobs. They were all like down the road. It's actually fine, but all my toys were gone. And I just finished painting like my Eldar army, all endless grey, wet blending over everything. It was like the most thing I was most proud of, and it got stolen. It's just horrendous. I lost all my Titans. I lost all my fantasy stuff there. Vampire counts, my high elves, all my Eldar, the knights. It's bad.
All for a penny jar, man. I'd be
penny jar. That's what it was. I didn't. Afterwards, and I thought I haven't got that penny jar. I thought shit. That's what it was. I left it in the back of the car for like 20 quid's worth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although Warlord, actually, I had a bolt action army all painted up. Warlord Games got wind of it and sent me a whole new Polish bolt action army.
Oh, cool. Nice. Fair play to them, man.
Yeah, that was.
I tell you,
heard about that.
I've been tempted. I really have. I find myself looking at scale model videos lately, and I'm like, I have been tempted. I'm like, you ever find yourself browsing?
There's no orcs in bolt action, but
there's no orcs in bolt action. I'd have to settle with something else. Yeah. But I've always been a sucker for World War II. I think that's what sort of whetted my appetite for wargaming in general. I used to watch the after school. I used to go around to my grandparents. Me and my brother, my younger brother, we used to go around to our grandparents and wait for me mum to finish work.
Mm-hmm.
When we were younger, so we used to stay around there for a few hours every day, and we used to watch the old war films on like the BBC or whichever channel it was going on. So sort of raised on the likes of like Tora and A Bridge Too Far and Von Ryan's Express.
Grandad films, right?
Yeah. That's sort of those sort of films. I love them, man. My God. Yeah, all the old war films. That's what
I used to watch like Christmas. I mean, used to be films like that as well. Used to be like Spartacus and Jason and the Argonauts and all those kinds of things,
Oh, yeah. The sort of stop motion ones.
They were great. So like, all those old war films as well. Like, it's perfect for going to sleep to because the audio quality is kind of really bad. It's that like silent muffle. It's like, just no music, no mad tension, no mental camera cuts. Just like three guys in a wagon, like whatever. They were great.
Quality at its finest. But I think that's what got me into wargaming. So I think I'm sort of realizing I may have been like a historical war gamer, but didn't know about it really. Because there's a few things, like I've never been a massive fan of psychic powers, and I've always hated Hero Hammer.
That wasn't your thing? I used to love a vampire count on a dragon, doing everything on his own.
That I've always, do you know what? I used to have a vampire count army, actually, now that you say. I started Warhammer Fantasy, and I started with the Bretonnians because I was, my thinking was they're the most realistic. You know what I mean? Apart from the Hippogriff, they had the Hippogriff, wasn't it? Yeah, they had the Hippogriff. Yeah. Apart from your man on the Hippogriff back in the day, like there wasn't much that was too fantastical about them. You know what I mean?
But basically, just like Crusaders, weren't they? Like
Bowman. Like French. French back in.
I love the Knights. They were great. They were a great, fun, cool themed army as well. The Grail Knights and stuff like that. They were just awesome. But I never played them myself. I wish now I had, because obviously you can't get them anymore. But so I have to apologize. I've got like 3 guinea pigs in the living room squeaking like mad. That's all I can hear right now is just like these guinea pigs screaming for food. So sorry.
Like Bretonnians. Oh yeah, I sold them off years ago. Have you ever had that though? Like Oliver, have you ever like sold off something and regretted it?
I have. Yeah, I sold when I had most of my toys stolen. I had like most of the army stolen, by a few bits. So I felt bad I didn't have them anymore. I'd still have my vampire cats and my high elves now if I didn't, but I didn't have enough to keep. But I actually sold my 30k Imperial Fist army. I won a load of tournaments and won a load of games and stuff, and won like a best painted tournament competition as well in a tournament, stuff like that. They were really good, and I sold them all off with the intention of like redoing them, and have obviously never redone them. But they were like a full army. I really liked them, and for the sake of selling them, like I wish I hadn't now. But we all tend to do it, don't we? We like buy stuff and then paint it all up and then sell it because you think you can do better or whatever. You want something else, and then you just don't have any painted armies.
Well, yeah, you know, I can understand to a certain point, but when you say paint it all up, it's like you've lost me there.
Yeah, we can sell armies that might be painted all up one day.
Yeah, well, yeah. But see, this is the problem with being an orc player. Like, when I sold off my Space Wolves, I was like, even to this day, I'm still like, I'm not like, I've had like, some people would be like, oh, you know, some of the Warhammer Fantasy armies got really high in value, but
Yeah.
like, I used to have a Britannian army, I sold that off years ago. I used to have a Tomb King's army, I sold that off years ago. I sort of got away from Warhammer Fantasy, but I think for me, like, it gets to a point, it's like, well, if I stop using something, I'll sit on it for a while. So maybe it's like I've had it for 2 years or 3 years, and it's like I can't see myself getting back into it. I try not to do sort of knee-jerk sales and stuff, because I know there's quite a lot of horror stories out there for folks who are like, they'll just be fed up with the hobby and then want to sell all their stuff immediately. I would advise people to sort of sit on it for a bit. Give it a
I
couple
agree.
of
I've
years.
certainly never done that myself. Although I know a lot of people who have done that, and then 2 years later, like, oh, and I've got to rebuy stuff, and it's more expensive, and it's not painted anymore. Like, yeah, totally. There's a lot of people who just sell the way out of the hobby and sell everything, paints, airbrushes, whatever, and then come back into it. Yeah, I'd take your time. Take your time before you make that decision, because it is expensive, right? Like, it's
Oh yeah, yeah. Especially starting from scratch as well. Like, it's not too bad. I sometimes forget that it's not too bad when I'm buying, like, if there's a new stuff coming out, because I've been at Orcs for like 10 years, and that's pretty much all I've been focused on. Maybe longer than 10 years, 12 years. I've got a lot of the stuff, a lot of the basic stuff. Like, there's some interesting bits and pieces that I'm still keeping my eye out for. But you know, when there's a new release coming out, it's a case of, oh, Orcs don't get that much love that often, so I only have to buy a couple of units every now and then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
not too
you got
bad once you have a sort of collection established. But once you're starting from scratch, it's like, I don't know how people manage it, to be honest with you.
no. Like, I put that Soul Drinkers army together, but really it's just mostly from, like, I've not had to buy much. You know, it's mostly from Space Marines I've had before, or ones that I never quite put together, or just spare bits. Like, doing conversions is hard work without a bits box, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's much expensive to look at an army and go, right, I want to buy 3,000 points of that, and I've got nothing, no paints, nothing. Like, that's expensive.
Yeah, super expensive. My mind does boggle sometimes how new people coming into the hobby, because I think that sort of deterred me. I've had a soft spot for a few different armies, but I'd sort of build up, like, I'd put it all together in a cart, and I'd be like, how much would I have to spend in order to be able to buy the army? And I just can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I had plans recently for a series of videos on like I thought of this ages ago. It's too late now because Games Workshop have just done it. But I had plans for doing like Primarch v Primarch battles, like in an arena, and doing, like, you know, for 30k, or doing like 40k hero v hero type stuff. And I had it all in the cart, and I needed to buy loads of Primarch. I like doing things with all the models. So with ones I had or ones I could borrow, it was like nearly $1,000 in Primarch. So obviously I can't afford that. And then Games Workshop just did the Primarch battle thing, didn't they? But yeah, like, I had that idea. But just to say, like, you look at things in the cart and you just think, I added up a Harlequin army the other day. It's like 6 boxes of troops or 8 boxes of troops, Skyweavers. It was hundreds. It was like getting on for $1,000.
Yeah, exactly. There's quite a few comments now in the comment section. Having half as much needs as I used to have, kicking myself, I sold off like 70 Gene Stealers. Do you know what? I find, like, I end up with a few miniatures from armies, even though I don't collect them. So, like, I've a load of Gene Stealers because I've got, like, Space Hulk, and I bought the Kill Team starter set. And then what else did I buy? I bought like the Shadow War Armageddon. So I'll end up with little bits and pieces of stuff. That's how I was able to build my Iron Warrior kill team. Because
Yeah.
I think I ended up with like tactical marine unit from Kill Team, the previous Kill Team edition. You know, the black box, the little black box that had Tau.
Yeah.
And end up with little bits of. So I think I even have 10 Tau dudes knocking around somewhere. I'm sure I'll decorate a base or two with them.
Yeah, that's the whole point, right? Kill off things you don't like. Get them.
Exactly. Oh, I have all these spare bits. What will I do with
Well, I just did well, not just a couple weeks ago. I did a kill team faction focus on Death Guard. I don't like Death Guard. I don't play like baddies. I don't like, but I quite enjoy painting them. But I bought the first strike box for Kira, for my partner, and so she had painted some Marines. I thought I'd just paint them up. So I painted some Poxwalkers and a Death Guard, and I'm like, oh, I've got a Death Guard kill team now. So there you go. Like, it's quite nice to be able to do that, I suppose, jump projects sometimes. And like I say, I've got some Hormongers or something knocking around, and I've never collected Tyranids, but I just do. I don't know, you get these things, don't you?
Yeah, you sort of pick them up along the way. Like, I think I've some Nids knocking around here as well from getting the 4th edition starter box set off of someone, like the Nid part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think the Mrs. painted that one up. I was like, oh, we've some Nids here. There you go paint them. You know what I mean? So they come in handy for other projects as well.
Or something. That's why I've managed to do well, only to keep the Space Marine part of the Prophecy of the Wolf box, because whatever it's called. Is that what it's called? I don't know. We'll call it that from now.
Yeah. We know what you're talking about.
Saga of the Dog, whatever it is, that one. I managed to do well not to keep the orcs. Like, it's very tempting.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't need them, but Gazgul is a beast of a model, though. Like, I'd like to get the paint on that boy.
Oh, definitely. I'd be interested to see how many people got tempted by orcs when Gazi came out, because it's crazy.
It's just so cool. I like this. I don't play 40k, but I do understand the rules of it, obviously. And he seems to be quite. A lot of people seem to be giving him a bit of stick for not being very good. But the whole like not being able to take more than whatever it is, like 4 wounds around a sequence, you know, like you can take 4 in the shooting, 4 in combat, 4 in psychic. Like the guy is not going to die quickly, you know.
No, I reckon if he didn't have that rule, he'd be dead in a heartbeat. I think it's more so, because we were discussing, myself and Steve-O and a few of the others, like we've been chatting away in our little orc community group. We do have a 40k orc community group. If you're not part of it, feel free to jump in. And for all things orc, I'll put a link there. How's that for a segue? But I think the main issue that people were having with Gazgul is that the rules aren't written well. It's like the rules are rushed. You know what I mean? So because he's a monstrous creature, he doesn't buff himself, but he buffs other infantry. So it's little sort of contradictions like that, and you don't know if that's what they intended to do, or if it was rushed and there'll be an FAQ afterwards. Do you know what I mean?
I am not a fan of these endless FAQs, man. Like, trying to get into 40k now, it's just like,
yeah, man, it's
hard work, and they're doing it all the time. They put codix out, and immediately it's like, right, we made 10 FAQs now. Okay. So
yeah, it's a bit much. Like it's almost like the books, staying up to date with the books and the rules is sort of like a subscription fee at this point to stay current in it. Do you know what I mean?
What's the point in like buying the book? It's immediately out of date.
Yeah, or there's always sort of, I feel like they're rushed out, so I'm always finding there's mistakes and contradictions in them, and I don't know, like I'm not happy with them. Do you know what I mean? They're lovely books. The quality of them is really nice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The artwork, when they do artwork, and the photography is really good, and the quality of the physical book itself is nice, but I just find I'm not happy with how the rules are written, how things are sort of.
You do get that feeling. I mean, I play a lot of Kill Team, and that's like, I don't know why I play a lot of Kill Team. Really, it's an absolute mess of a rule system for what should be a simple sort of entryway game to 40k. I think was the intention, and it works for most people. It's worked for me, but the rules for that are just. There's more rules than there are in 40k. You roll more dice than you do for 40k. You have like hit, wound, save, injury, endless rerolls, and the rules are so confusing. I did a rules video on it, and it took me a long time before I even put that out because they change all the time.
Well, see, I bought the standard rules, and then I think I bought the Commanders expansion, but I've only really played the base game, and then from what I gather, some of the other expansions weren't really that balanced for Kill Team.
Yeah, I like Elites and Core. Arena, not for me. Commander is like a bit of a mess in relation to it's like it just Commander's a bit like OP or not. Even Elites though has led to some imbalance, and then things like the sisters, sisters, what are they called? Yeah, Sisters of Battle. Even their rules are like rushed basically out in the annual or like a White Dwarf book. You know, same with Demons. Like, yeah, I can understand writing rules is hard, and it must be very hard to keep up with the current stuff and what people want, and they need to make the new armies better for people to buy them. Sort of, I can understand the mentality from a marketing point of view, but from a gaming point of view, that's like the whole power creep situation is a bit of a nightmare, isn't it?
Yeah, like myself personally, I think they could easily pump the brakes a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't have to bombard us. Yeah, definitely. I think part of me is kind of happy I collect one of the more sort of peripheral armies that isn't getting the full focus of GW's attention, because I don't know how Space Marine players are able to keep up the amount of codexes and new releases and stuff. You know what I mean?
The meta to that as well, like changes in a tournament, particularly. Like it must be so expensive to get in a tournament-winning army, and then everything gets nerfed, and then you've got a no army again. Like when the Iron Hands recently, wasn't it? Everyone was doing their Iron Hands, like okay, and then everyone was buying Chaplain Dreadnoughts or whatever. Like it's a bit of a mess.
And then 2 weeks later, it gets its little nerf. Yeah.
Yeah, and okay, well, there's sold 500 Chaplain Dreadnoughts, and then no one plays anymore. That's why I think for my Space Marines, I've gone for like old classics. I know they'll get removed at some point, but I'm not playing like a specific chapter. I'm not buying like the Raven Guard book on the side. I just play the Space Marines as is. I'm an Eldar player really in 40k, and they don't seem to get that much attention. Well, no one gets as much as the Space Marines really, do they?
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, I mean they're crushing it though. Games Workshop are absolutely crushing it as a business right now in a world that's been like through economic decline for a while. They are smashing it, and I think I've been in the hobby for a long time, and I think before they used to very much be like a hobbyist place, and you'd go there as a kid or whatever, and they were very much into that. Then they lost their way 10 years ago or more, and just became a bit too money orientated. I mean, I know they are a business, that's fine, but this past 5 years since they did like Warhammer TV and the success of Duncan and people like that, I think they've really started to come back to being better for the hobby as well as a business now, which is fine. Like it's expensive, it's fine. We all know that, and that's not really my issue with it at all. Yeah, I wish stuff was cheaper, but they're great. They are good, and games actually get a lot of stick, but at the same time, like they do a pretty good job.
Depends. I'll be diplomatic. Yeah. It depends.
I'm not saying I'm a huge GW like. Oh my god! I'm
not at all. Not at all.
I'm so glad Primarchs have gone from £45 to £77 for my heresy or whatever. But yeah, it's hard, isn't it? As people who are the money spenders, not to want to do things, and they do other things wrong as well. But they have tried. I think the whole.
They're putting the effort in now, whereas beforehand they used to just blatantly like ignore, and they backed away from social media altogether. At least they're putting the effort in that front. As an orc player, I think they're sort of getting away from the hobby as it was previously, where you have more options and you'll be able to customize stuff yourself because you want to have the rules options. I think they're sort of going more towards you buy a box set and the rules reflect directly what's in that box set and nothing outside of it. So it's
I suppose
a little restrictive in that regard, but
you lost that creative freedom. I can understand that now. That's very true.
But I think that's more so an issue for the likes of orcs and orc players, because we we always love having the looted wagon. We love having that creative freedom. Whereas Games Workshop have sort of gone for the more, if it doesn't have a miniature, we generally don't give it rules anymore, sort of thing. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a bit, yeah, whatever.
I see what you're saying, because definitely, I mean, orcs, the whole point of them really is to like do mad conversions, right? That's what you want, and mad looted wagons and weird like orcs wearing Space Marine armor saying not an orc or whatever. That whole
that type of stuff. Yeah. That's
dumb
sort of
stuff.
like a cornerstone of it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I can get that.
But I think it's a pretty unique thing for, because there's not many other factions that do what orcs do, that have the creative sort of freedom that they do.
You had a whole game. We had 2 whole games based off orcs now: Speed Freaks and Gorka Morka, just off orcs.
Yeah.
And that's no other faction, no other armies had that.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything. Think about it. Like Gorka Morka was a great game, man. Like, it's a lovely idea of like piling my truck and my like war boss flies out of it and lands somewhere and kills something and then dies. Like, they're great. You don't care. Orcs don't care. They're fun.
Having a laugh at it. Yeah, definitely. The sort of the enjoyment of the chaos that's created from the pell-mell of battle. That's sort of the melee and all that. Yeah, definitely. And there's still quite a lot of folks who support Gorka Morka.
It's a great game. The rules. I've got the rules somewhere here. There were the rules for that. I used to play a lot of that when I was younger. Good fun. Silly game.
What mob did you used to run?
I can't remember anymore now, to be honest.
Were they goblins? Were they mutants? Were they orc boys?
Oh, orc boys. Yeah, orc boys.
All right. So
and red goes faster.
So either Gorkers or Morkers. But that probably, do you know what? It probably ties into what we were saying earlier about loving progressive campaigns and getting experience. Because Gorka Morka was pretty much from that era of GW's gaming.
Orc Mordheim, right?
Yeah, it's like Necromunda with vehicles, or yeah,
maybe that's just. And there must be other people out there who still love that kind of game, though. It's still popular. As you say.
Definitely. Yeah, we run a group with. We've got a group going on Facebook. I think there's about 3,000 people in it now for Gorka Morka.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's like it's been tipping away.
That game was cancelled like 10 years ago or something.
More than that. There was cancelled a good while ago, but people are still fond. I think some of the old specialist games, people are still
into that.
Still fond for them.
Oh my God, should I get some orcs? Can we play Gorka Morka?
Look, we could give it a bash. I'm pretty sure I even have some orc Gorka Morka. Hold on, I'm sure I have a Gorka Morka vehicle there somewhere, still in cellophane. Give me a look. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
But I'm on my own. Hello, world. I'm going to apologise now for sitting so far on the right of my camera. But it's a dodgy webcam on my laptop. I'm sitting in the middle. I'm really out of focus.
Running right. Here we go. Yeah.
I got into all kinds of trouble when I was on my own there.
Oh, I was expecting to come back and just see flames everywhere, smoke billowing from the stream.
Just plastic thrown everywhere because I'm sick of doing buildings.
Yeah, I've got a Rebel Grot big lugger. I actually have quite a lot of the original Gorka Morka stuff, but this one is I got it off of Dim. So, but even like my grots for 40k, like I have some of the Gorka Morka stuff. So like even the banner wave with the original red gobbo. So.
I forgot about those. Yeah, you're right. I used to have those. I had the little, it's like a little cart with a sail on it with little goblins hanging out the top.
Yeah, I could have.
Yeah, I used to have those. And I had the guy with the red cape. I had him. I had lots of little snotling dudes as well. And not snotlings.
They called, yeah. So there was this Rebel Grots, and then every mob has like their initiate sort of. So orcs would have youths. So they'd have skinnier orcs, but the Gretchen would have snots, is what they called them, and they were
snots. That's it. I had orcs with youths, and like the little. I had all the metal ones. Do you know what I mean? Like the shooter and the little thing, like this kind of skinny. And then I had the rebel grots. So the guy, a bit like some reason like communists. I don't know. Like
that was their whole. That was the whole. They were a revolution. They revolted against their orc oppressors. So their sigil was like the red star of freedom from.
That's right.
For gobbos. So the red gobbo.
That was awesome. I forgot about them. Yeah, the little cutter thing. I had 1 or 2 of those. They were silly.
Cracking.
Ah, I
Yeah,
forgot about them. Ah, good days. Good days of hobby.
exactly. You can earmark that for future reference as well. There you go, Oliver. See, plenty of ideas.
I forgot all about these things. That's it now. The channel is no longer doing games. We're just doing old games.
Well, that's probably an interesting piece of conversation, though. Is there seems to be a perception of um, newer rules are always better.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't think, I think you're probably right. Like, I think for me, my favorite edition of like 40k was, I don't know what that was, fifth, fourth, where you could blow bits off vehicles and immobilize them and blow tracks off and blow guns and arms off dreadnoughts and stuff. I don't know what edition that was, but that for me was one of my favorite.
The one I specifically remember that happening was fifth edition, because I remember playing against me friend's Chaos, and he had a Land Raider, and I can specifically remember beating the absolute tar out of that thing, and it had its tracks blown off, it had all of its weapons wrecked, it was surrounded by orcs, but it was just defiant. It was just sort of sitting
Yeah.
there on the objective, and I'm like, will you die?
Yeah, that's what you want. That was when it was cool. They were my favorite editions
Yeah,
of
because
40.
it was fun though. You could imagine
Yeah.
the story arc of it, where the orcs have wrecked it, and the poor crew and the guys embarked inside are sort of being rocked about, holding on for dear life as the orcs are beating down on the thing. Yeah, it's funny.
But
Like,
but
I
we
don't
both have different like experiences, but or like similar, but like different memories of those kinds of those games from those years, right? Like I don't really think about that amazing game I had in seventh, but I think about those amazing games I had in fifth or whatever. I don't know, maybe that's part of the times of the wargaming as well. But like, there's some cool stories had then.
Yeah, good memories made. Definitely, it's I think you remember the moment, and then you sort of after a fact, it's like, I remember this happening, and then you try and stitch it together by year. It's like, oh, what edition was that? Oh, it was when we went to this event. It was probably around that year, so it was that edition.
hmm,
You know what I mean? It's sort of the memory of something cool happening. Um,
yeah, I suppose that's the way of it, isn't it? Like going to games days. Do you know what I mean old games day up in Birmingham or wherever? Do you ever go? I suppose you wouldn't go to those, really, would you? Like,
I know, no, I never really got the chance to go to games day. No.
I mean, it's different now. Like I went to one like a couple of years ago, and it's just not really the same. But it used to be awesome when it was held in the NEC in Birmingham. It went to that a couple of years. But the Games Workshop in Peterborough used to like run a bus, so you buy your bus ticket and that, and you get there at like 6 a.m. and be dropped off back at eight in the evening when I was like 13 or whatever old I was. Like
Yeah.
that was awesome. That's when Games Workshop was really good. I did. They did Golden Demon like junior. I converted like a Neath the Prophetess, this like elf model from whatever year fantasy that was. And on the way there, in the queue, I fell over a step and broke my arm and smashed my model at
What?
like 8 in the morning. I'm really accident prone, by the way. I've
I
broken
was
like
about
every
to
bone
say,
in the
you
body.
have the worst luck.
I was standing in the queue with my brother, and there was like queued around the corner. And I remember just walking forward, and there was like obviously just a step, and I didn't see it and fell over, landed on the model, smashed my model, it all converted and everything, and smashed that. And then I had a broken arm. I went to the woman who was like the nurse, and she's like, "Oh yeah, you probably broke your arm. Do you want to go home?" I was like, "No, I will not go home." So I stayed there until the whole day. So I didn't want to miss games day. Walking around with nothing, no cast or anything, just a broken arm. In
In a
like,
sling? I hope, did she give you a sling or something? Like,
no, they put me in a wheelchair to like roll me around and said, "Right, you can go home now." So they took me to like the boss of the Peterborough store at the time and was like, "Yeah, so he broke his arm." I think they were like phoned my parents up. I think I was 13 or 12,
oh
13.
god.
I said, "No, I'm not going home." So I went home at like 8 p.m. the whole day with a broken arm and sent my brother in to like buy me the limited edition models and stuff.
Oh
I'm
god.
dedicated to the hobby.
That is dedication, Oliver. I have to say, that is dedication to the cause.
10 hours with a broken arm to get my random Space Wolf model.
Get your fix.
What an idiot.
Could you imagine though, like you send your kids off and it's like it's a wargaming sort of hobby event. You'd send your kids off and it's like, surely nothing could go wrong. You know.
This lad's he's not out raving, he's not out doing anything bad. He's at a gaming event. Oh no, he broke his arm.
Yeah, he's not out playing sport or playing rugby or something like that. It's just at a game. Oh no, broken. Yeah.
Yeah. that's very me though. If you know me, that's just me. Like,
oh god, that is hilarious.
Good times.
Hey, well, that's it. You can look back and laugh at it now. That's the important thing. You know what I mean?
I think I spent the day listening to "In the End" by Linkin Park. It was then, whenever that came out. It's like, in the end, doesn't even matter. It's me walking around with a broken arm.
Soldiering on. It's like, taking one for the team. This ain't going to stop me. Yeah.
What an idiot.
Ah, funny. Priorities. I suppose when you're that young, your priorities are totally different.
I don't care about my health. I just really want to get hold of that limited edition miniature.
Broken arm. Psh, who needs that? It's grand.
Imagine if I did it now. I'd be like, yes, a week off work.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, priorities will be different.
Yeah, I just want to stay at home.
All caps, jigs. My God, all caps. Have I been neglecting the comment section that much? If you could choose the next game box to be released, what armies would I pick? Go on, Oliver. What?
40k. What armies would I put in it? Eldar. I know we just had a double Eldar, but for me, what doesn't get any love and what do I like? I don't know. Eldar would be one. Some form of Eldar. Harlequins or something.
Harlequins.
I know they just had some rules, but I'd put Harlequins in one because they're cool. I don't know. What would you go for?
I would go for... Yeah, there'd be orcs in it, but I think I'd do like a box set that we've never seen that would be cool. It'd be like orcs and tyrannids, and it's a load of troops. Like, I love... There's two types of battle report I really love. It's orcs versus orcs, and it's orcs versus nids. And more specifically, hordes fighting hordes is amazing.
I'm just gonna put it out there. As someone who edits battle reports, and it takes me like 80 hours to edit one of my games. Like last Kill Team one, the idea of editing 2 horde armies might kill me. But I like it. I think hordes versus hordes. I like endless bolters in like 30k. I play a lot of that. I like just dudes with bolt guns, right? Like
walls of bolters.
Yeah, orcs versus tyrannids. That's a great box set.
That would be a cracking one, definitely. Loads of troops. And none of this copping out that they always keep doing, where it's like they put gene stealers in every bleeding box ever. It's like no. Yeah. Lots of the good stuff, the troops, like.
I want the Hormigans, man.
Yeah, exactly. Your Gants and your Gaunts. We've had Eldar already. Dave is saying Harlequins aren't getting a big box. Their rules are just plonked into White Dwarf magazine only. Yeah. Didn't Harlequins get like a separate codex of their own at one point?
Did you have a codex? Yeah, it's only about you're going to get like one troop choice and one heavy support choice. They don't really have much in the way of any options. But yeah, they got White Dwarf rules recently, which have helped things like Death Jesters and stuff like that. But yeah, it'd be nice if they got. Like, I know we had Eldar versus Dark Eldar. I know that in a box recently. Or Drakari, sorry, and Eldari. Let's call them the real names now.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, them. But yeah, Harlequins didn't get much love, to be fair. Neither, to be fair, have Deathwatch, right? Like, I know. Did they get new rules recently? Or are they coming out in the new one? Who's the next one? Necrons versus something,
I think, yeah, I think Deathwatch still have to get rules. We thought that they were supposed to be coming in
the prior one.
Yeah, the Space Wolves and Orc one. To be honest.
Oh right. So I know the next one is Necrons, isn't it?
But... Yeah, there's Necrons. I know there's Necrons in the next one. Maybe Deathwatch are in that. I don't know. It's really weird because they'll put 3 factions in some of them and then they'll put 2 in others.
Yeah. In the Prophecy of the Wolf, I haven't even opened my box yet. Are there actual Space Wolf rules, or is it just a couple of characters?
In the box set, yeah, no, there should be like rules for like Logan Grimnar, and you should have your data sheets for Gazgul, Makari, Logan Grimnar, and your little pamphlet book. Yeah, you should have rules to play the miniatures. They tend to do that with even the normal boxes now. You'll get like your instructions, and you'll get like a little sort of data sheet on the back of the building instructions.
Right.
Very reminiscent of the old days, like second ed, where you'd buy like an orc war buggy, and you'd have like the stats for it.
Yeah, it's a little card.
Yeah. Card. On the back of the building instructions, or a separate card. Yeah. Always funny.
I'm just going to put this out there. I'm putting this Warcry terrain together. What a box set of terrain this is, by the way. What a mad, loads of it. It's really good. We've had some real value in this Warcry and that Kill Team one. Just some great value terrain to be had.
Just standalone box sets, or?
Yeah, this is the starter set.
The starter box set. Yeah.
Awesome. What a load of awesome terrain this is. Can't wait to never use it and never paint it.
Cracking terrain. I'll probably never use it, lads, but it's
Yeah, but
brilliant.
it's a great set. Make sure you get at least 5 of them.
Oh, I always find that funny. The Kill Team box set, the first one was pretty good. They've brought out a new one, haven't they? I don't know what that's like for terrain.
Which one? I should
Isn't
know
there an
It's like
updated
my
one
thing.
where it's like, they brought out another Kill Team box set where it's like Tau
Oh yeah, yeah, Tau.
and
That's okay. It's
Primaris.
not as good as the first one. Tau
Oh, the
and
first one was really, because I remember like the first Sector box sets, they were cracking value. And then you got like the cards in the sets as well. I think that was the important thing that most people were after.
yeah.
Because I have one or two of them there. I bought like the Sector Mechanica sound, but it was cracking value for the terrain sets themselves.
It's half the reason why I bought this Warcry one, to be honest. Was like, I mean, I like fantasy stuff. I've not really played it as a game, but it's just the terrain's really good. It's just really good value. I think
They do
I'm
some
looking forward to
cracking terrain, I have to say.
putting this together into some sort of kill team board at some point.
You've been
And
busy
what?
building Kill Team boards, haven't you? I've watched a couple of videos now where you've been building.
Oh yeah, I did that trench board. That was
Yeah.
that came out quite well in the end. Actually, I know not to blow my own trumpet, but I was pretty happy with how that one came out. I've never done anything like it before, and I think about halfway through I was like, oh, I've ruined this, and then it just sort of happened.
It came together. Do you know what? I like that when that happens when you're doing a miniature as well, where you're trying something different, and you get to like the halfway point maybe, and you're like, oh, I'm not too sure. But if you persevere, like it'll get to the point where you like with a miniature, you'll put a wash on, and then it starts to like with any project, it starts to visually come together, and you're like, yeah, you know what I mean? You soldier through, and you'll get there in the end, like.
I think that's the way with painting. I find the same thing. It's like, oh, I don't know, I'll paint something and it looks really awful. Like I do all the base colors and it just looks crap. And then you wash it, you do some of the bits to it, or put oils or whatever you want to do, and you're like, ah, yeah, okay, now it looks good. Or I tend to look good at the start and then I ruin it a bit in the middle. Like it's just the way of it. I don't know. You can't make an omelette without cracking some eggs or something, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's
that works.
I think you're right there. That applies. We'll stick with that. That's it. That's sage advice right there from Oliver.
Wisdom? No. Yeah, I'm definitely up for building some more boards, actually. I'm going to do an Orky one, a big Orky 6x4 40k board. Some sort of mechy,
scrapyard sort of thing.
Well, Cromlech have been sending me some stuff recently. They sent me some
sweet. Yeah,
buildings,
nice.
and they're going to send me a few more. I've got some ruined buildings to do a kill team board, and they said, see how you get on with that, and we'll send you the orc stuff if you want. So I really want the big orc mech land on some sort of like, like American style cowboy, like the big.
Oh yeah, like the equivalent of the Western sort of. Yeah, I get you.
That kind of vibe, I think I really want to do, and then put random orc. It can be. It won't be set. It'll be those bits, and then I can add the orc bits into it. I think that would look really cool.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. Yeah, Cromlech are really good at supporting guys, even small channels like me. Like they've given prize support as well. Cromlech are really cool. Like they're really good third party guys, and the terrain is absolutely cracking, man.
I've got 4 of the ruined buildings and some crates and stuff. I've not had a good look at it yet, but I think it's HDF rather than MDF, which is nice, and it's got like extra. So rather than just being flat, it's got like a second smaller section you can glue onto it for like the details. So I'll have a play around, but I think I'll be doing a city board using that at some point, a kill team city board soon. So that'll be fun.
From what I've seen of it, it looks nice. Like I know Dread has some of it. I don't have any stuff myself, wink wink. I don't have any of the Orky terrain myself, but
Cromlech, are you listening?
But no, from what I've seen of it, it looks really nice. Like Dread has a few pieces. Dread Wargaming, he has a few of the bits, and I had a look at them, and they look cracking. Like they really do. They're very nice bits.
I've not always been a fan of like MDF terrain, but the more I'm sort of using it, and the more I'm learning to improve it, the more I'm liking it.
To get the most out of it. Yeah, I think it depends on who's making the MDF kits. You can get some of them, and it's very hit and miss, and then other people who do MDF kits, if they think about because I've looked at a few of them, if they think about how they're going to slot together so that it's not too jarring. Do you know what I mean? Like you can look at some MDF kits and that just looks like an MDF kit.
Yeah. The random corners. Everything's just a corner.
But some other kits, it's really good. they're even just before they're painted, like they look cracking. And then
Yeah.
when you paint them up, it's like, oh, you can tell there's been some thought about what the finished product's gonna look like,
Yeah.
in regards to how it's assembled. You know.
I've done a few videos for a few. I did some work for P-Works, and to be fair, that was like very basic. It's cheap, that was basic. And then I did some Sarissa Terrain. They're a good company over in the UK. Their stuff's really good and quite inexpensive, but it's nice. Terrain, Wargames Terrain, their stuff's pretty like flat, to be honest. But again, it all comes with cost, doesn't it, as well? Like if it's quite cheapy, you get a lot of it, and you can still do stuff with it. It just depends how much time you're willing to put into doing it. I'm not really a fan of like building my own buildings. Maybe I'll give it a go at some point, but like there's enough good terrain you can buy that it will cost you kind of just the same. I know it's like cheaper to make your own, but it takes so much time, and like time is sort of money, right?
Well, yeah, it ties into like, especially when you think about it, when you're younger and you're getting into the hobby, you have loads of spare time, but you don't have the money to buy stuff, so you're more inclined to buy your terrain. Whereas, when you get a bit older and maybe have a family and you're working away, it's like your time is more precious to you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So
yeah, that's true. That's very true.
You can afford to buy kits. You're happier to spend money on kits than invest time on making your own stuff. But I'm
Plus,
sure,
I'm really making buildings.
Yeah.
They always crap.
Yeah, there's always someone still plinking away and making buildings.
Yeah. I see some stuff online, particularly at the Mordheim page. There's some ridiculous buildings on there, and people just do such good work. I don't know how they manage it. I don't have the skill for that. Maybe we need to practice it. I don't know, but
there are some truly gifted individuals out there, and then because we're in the age of social media as well, it's almost like you can come across specialists. So it's like some guys who just build terrain, that's their thing, like, or you can come across folk who just build stuff out of sheet styrene. There really is. There's so many little hobby niches within hobby niches, and you can get your inspiration off of those guys. I always find it interesting.
It's funny what people are into. Like I'm not. It's not my thing. But not that. It's not. It's great. And I wish I could do it, but I don't think it's not the kind of thing I want to put my time into doing. Like into practice, I'd rather work on something else. So yeah, it's also quite daunting. It's the same with painting, though. You get like painting people who are really, really good, and you go on some of those painting groups, like I don't know, heavy metal or whatever, and it can be quite hard. It can almost be a bit depressing. Like you paint it, like, oh my god, I'm just never going to look that good ever, and it can be almost a bit disheartening, can't it? I find sometimes.
Yeah, it's a mental trap. We can put ourselves into that sort of mental trap where you're comparing yourself to yourself, and it's easy to say this, but ideally you should be comparing yourself to your previous work. But we're human, we do that anyway. We always compare ourselves to others when you should be comparing yourself to your own sort of progress. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. That's sage advice from you.
I pick up the knowledge as I go along, and I share it with other people. Whether I follow it myself is another matter.
Don't buy more toys till you finish last ones. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like I should have that like nailed on the door every time I walk out. Don't buy more minis. Paint your minis first, definitely. Or just in my wallet, just before you pull out the card. You know what I mean?
I do so bad. I was playing a 30k tournament over in the UK, and I needed to, obviously two tanks, and they're like the forge ones, like 130 quid. I was like, I'll save up. I'll get them. Yeah, I got them after payday. I'll get them done. They're still in the bag. That was 3 years ago. Never even used them. It's like, yeah, I definitely need them. Okay, I've not got time to paint them. I'll put something else in that I've already got. Great, and then they're just still there.
So did you go to the event in the end, or?
Yeah. I took a different army. I actually ended up with my Imperial Fist in 30k. I ended on a pretty good record before I sold them. I think I tabled 7 games in a row at that tournament.
Oof.
I didn't even take a beardy list. It just, I don't know, just that good.
It just sort of happened, yeah.
I feel bad. I remember the last guy was like guy number 7. I was like, yo, so, how you doing? Yeah, don't want to ruin my record here, my man. So you're in for a tabling. Yep. Now, he was so unlucky as well. Like, many people just should beat you on like 2 pluses, and they were all like 5 1s. It's like, yeah, it's happening. Sorry.
Nuffle, isn't it? That's what it's called in Blood Bowl. The god of luck is Nuffle, isn't it?
Nuffle. That's right. Nuffle. Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't know that. Obviously, like I'm only dipping my toe into it, but yeah, I can understand when Nuffle or Orange Jesus or whoever
Yeah.
doesn't smile upon you.
There's nothing you can do. Ultimately, it's a game of like strategy and tactics, but it's luck based as well. So, you can play you get people to play your math hammer. You can play to your numbers and your odds, and you should be able to work out. I should kill 4 guys here, and you kill 9, or you kill none. Like it, it's a dice game, isn't it? At the end of the day. But yeah, Nuffle is the Blood Bowl god. So when you're playing elves, you put anything other than a 1, really. As soon as you roll a 1, it's like end of turn. So orcs have got a bit more forgiving, I think. Actually, they're quite a good team to learn with, orcs.
Oh, for Blood Bowl, yeah, they seem. Do you know what I started? You're a bad man, you really are. I started playing like I had the older Blood Bowl games and I dabbled with them now and then, but I never played in a league. So I probably played a handful of games like 8 years ago or whatever. So like I've tried Blood Bowl, so I got the basics in, but I've been playing against in Blood Bowl 2. There's you can play against the campaign, you can play against the AI. So I've been running through that, and it's like there's the basics of the game, and then there's understanding how your team plays, but there's also sort of you need to understand the end game, like the long game. It's like what skills would benefit in the long run, and what so you need to sort of think like far ahead as well. It's like, right, I'm gonna give him this skill now because hopefully if he levels up another 2 times, I want to give him block and then mighty blow, and then I'll want to give him tackle so that people can't dodge. That type of thing. But then
it's a game with a lot more depth. It's like chess, right? Like easy to learn, hard to master.
Yeah.
And although it's on the surface until you get playing it, like it seems simple. Hit, roll dice, done, score, goal. But like every other game we play, like 40k or whatever, you need to know your opponent as well. You need to know what they're capable of doing and how to stop them. And like there's teams that can score a goal in 1 turn because they're so quick, like Skaven or Wood Elves. You need to know how to not let them do that. As well as achieve your own goals. So there's a lot more to. I've only been playing it for a couple of years myself, but I've really, really got into it. And that Blood Bowl 2 game online, I think, is excellent. It's not quite, it doesn't play quite the same as the tabletop. There's a few different rules, but I mean, man, for a way to learn, and it's just good fun. It's nothing, just nice. It's easy. The graphics of that game are good as well.
Yeah, they're decent. They're decent. I think it was what, 20 quid on Steam or something, and you get all the
expansion packs. I'm glad I've roped you into it now because I need some more Blood Bowl players in the area. So
your plan has worked. You're crafty.
It has worked.
Crafty.
I know. I'm bad. I'm a bad man. I've actually got an Orc Blood Bowl team. I bought the starter set here. I've got the human team all painted up. I've got the Orcs all they're just in the cupboard behind me, all airbrushed up, and the reds are all really nice on those guys. It's nice. I've gone for like box color schemes, but my brother, before I could airbrush myself, did the airbrush work for me, and he's really, really good. And it's just I'm kind of like don't want to ruin them by painting them. They look good.
Oh, that's good. So all you were saying, like your brothers were into the hobby. That's how you got into it, was it?
Yeah, I've got 2 older brothers, so I'm what 32 or 33 soon, and but I was into it when I was about 5. I've got brothers who are 3 and 5 years older than me, so
yeah,
getting on for 40 now, one of them, and they play a lot. They play. We've all sort of all played together. It's kind of been our main uniting thing as a bunch, really. Despite the squabbles when you're younger, and now we all just sit and do hobby chats and hobby times. Even like they also all live in the UK, and we sit and chat a bit and do some stuff. So if they're watching, shout out to Ben and Joe there. They both featured in a 30k game on my channel, actually. It was really in the old days when I wasn't filming like I do now, but it looks the armors are just awesome and they're good fun. So yeah, I've got a lot to blame them for, really, for getting into it.
Definitely. Well, that's good. Like I've tried to get my brother to dabble a bit, and I mucked around with the Conquest magazine. So I'm the oldest. I'm 31, and I'm the oldest out of the 3 of us. So I've a younger brother. He's nearly 2 years younger than me, just a little less. And then I've a younger sister who's like 8 years younger than me. And like when I first got into Warhammer, I tried to get him in at the same time. But when the Conquest magazine came out, I I did intend to do like a whole series with him, and I lost a lot of footage. And
Oh no.
yeah, we were starting on the journey, and I lost the footage on it. I can't believe it. It was heartbroken, dude.
Yeah, that
But
sucks.
yeah, what can you do? But he still has his stuff. I just sort of, you know how it is when you're an adult though. It's like I'm working, he's working.
Yeah.
He's got kid as well, the nephew.
Yeah, it's hard,
So
isn't it? Hard to put the
yeah,
time into it. That's
can
why
be.
my Kira, my partner, she's done a video on the channel. She's done another one now, but
I
she's quite
saw that.
artsy. She does like baking and cakes and cooks and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So she's really good at that. So she's and did makeup courses and things as well. So she's good. That's why she's quite good, I think, at painting. And she's starting to get into it a bit now. We did the first video and she was like, I want to give it a go, basically. And the whole premise of the video, which you've seen it, was just like, as a new person, how do you paint? So we bought that intercessor paint set and she just did that, following the rules to that. And I said the model was pretty good, to be honest. It was really good for someone's first ever model.
Hey.
And then we painted a little bit at home, and then she did we just filmed it yesterday or today, so it'll be out next week with a video painting that Warcry model and lots of flesh tones. So it's a really difficult model, and I think she's done a really good job in the end. No spoilers, but yeah, she's done a good job, and she's into it now. She's quite enjoying it. I think she wants to get some more chins and have her playing a few games of Warcry. So it's quite cool.
Nice. Yeah, no, I've watched the video where Kira was doing the assembly and stuff, and like I liked your hands-off approach where you weren't doing it for her. It's another way some people do that, where it's like they get the temptation is too much for them. It's like if somebody's having trouble with something, it's like, oh, it's okay, I'll do it for you. But you weren't. You were sort of very standoffish, and that sort of.
It was the whole point. It was like,
it was genuine then. So she gave her opinion on stuff where it was like some of the stuff was hard to put together, or did she hurt her thumb on the paint pot or something like that?
That's right. Open paint pots. She's like, they're hard to open, and like you don't think about it, but I guess they kind of are. Like,
it's like
and she's like, I don't know, broke a nail on it, and like,
fresh perspective, like pair of fresh eyes, and you're thinking to yourself, oh yeah, I never even thought about like paint pot lids or anything like that. But I thought I really liked that aspect of it. So
yeah, that was totally like her idea. Was like, you know, someone in the comments called me like a bully and was like, you're a bully for making her do this on her own. I was like, what? Like, I didn't like, you know, steal her away and put her in the studio. But yeah, I thought that was kind of the fun part of it, was she figuring things out, and she would mention stuff that I didn't even think about. You know, it was like, it's obvious to put water with your paints, or it's obvious to shake your paint pot, right? She's like, oh, she didn't, and then she opened it, was like, that looks weird. I was like, yep. And she's like, oh, and then the second time she's like, I'm going to shake it. I was like, very good. And then she started to learn to thin it down herself, and yeah, I don't know, just weird the different perspectives people have on it. We kind of have so much assumed knowledge now, don't we? Like, oh, just dry brush it, just wash it. What's a wash? I don't know. Like, yeah, so it's good. This next one's a bit more advanced now, and she's done a few models at home. She did a Blood Bowl guy, which went really badly. She signed yellow and like over black, and it just went green. And then she did a Blood Angel, and now she's done a Warcry dude. So I think she can do the whole warband now, which would be nice. And then we'll get it in the game.
Sweet.
But it's good. It's nice to have other people around you to support you, because like you've been doing YouTube for ages. It can be quite hard work. It can be a bit lonely. It can be difficult. It can be like pretty depressing at times.
Yeah, you can lack a motivation. I've only really been sort of putting the work in and actually getting stuff done, and with the hobby and like YouTube as a supplement to my hobby, since I started banding up with Steve-O and Dread. You know what I mean? Those lads really sort of lit a fire under my ass to get stuff going.
Is that 6+? Is it 6+ gaming or 6+?
6+ Steve-O.
That's it. Yeah.
6+ Steve-O. Yeah.
Watch some of his stuff.
Yeah, he's good chap.
Yeah. You do need motivational help. That's why it's nice to have like my brothers or Kira involved. Like it's don't know. Like it's nice to like now I'm just doing stuff and just chatting some crap.
Well, yeah, it's nice to have people around. There's something about having a sit down on a hobby session. Even the few times I've managed with my brother, he was saying to me, it's like, well, you know, the time flies, and he enjoyed it because it's like the outside world and those type of worries, you know, any stress you've got going on, when you're sitting down and painting a miniature and you're just having a chat, it's just you just sort of like it's sort of a chill, sort of zen type of
Hmm.
thing you get going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's good for you. Good for mental health. It's good for stuff.
Yeah.
Good to keep you interested. Good to keep you busy. And it's nice to have hobbies. You know, we always say we're all getting older and time gets harder to do things, and you know your time gets more demands elsewhere. But it's nice. It's just relaxing. It can be, and like gaming can be stressful if you let it be. But I'm not really one who cares if I lose. You know, I'm not going to get stressed out if something happens. Like, just who cares? It's a game, right? Just enjoy it. Like, I think.
Fanny's asking why hasn't he introduced her to orcs yet? What my missus? I've got like a starter set. I've you know what, Oliver? I had the same thinking. I have an intercessor's paint set for the missus.
Do it.
I went and visited my friend, the hobby git or Dim. He lives up near Newcastle, and me and the missus went up and visited him, and we went into a hobby store. So it's sort of like you know, the proper model shops where it's like they've got trains and they got like proper model kits, and they had a little bit of Warhammer, and
Yeah.
you know, they had a good few bits and pieces, loads of it's a cracking. I forget the name of the store. I should remember for future reference and share with people, because it's in, if you live in the northeast of England, it is an absolute brilliant store. It really is. I was even saying to me mate, I was like, I'm very jealous that you live within driving distance of this store.
Yeah. Yeah, we take it for granted, I think, when you've got a nice space like that somewhere near.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
Cracking.
Oh yeah. I was about like 5 minutes away from Warhammer World when I was in Nottingham. Like now I'm not. I think, oh my god, why didn't I go there more? Like,
Yeah. I could get that. Like when we went into that store and then we were showing her around and she's like, "Oh, this is Warhammer." I was like, "Yeah, do you want to get a box set? Do you want to try it yourself?" And I was like, "Here, look, I'll buy you the Intercessor Start painting set, but we'll get
some of the video, it's got everything you need in it. You can paint models from it, you know. You've got
Exactly, yeah.
extra bits as well, and if you want to help her out, do. But I quite enjoyed. I think Kira's like that element where I've left her to it. You know, it's not like I don't want to be like, do this, do that, do that. I want it to just be, you discover it yourself, don't you? And you figure things out, and you go, oh, that's crap, and that's good, or whatever. So
yeah,
yeah,
it depends. Yeah. Different people have different teaching methods, but yeah, definitely let them experiment, find out themselves, and if they ask for help, then provide it. Yeah.
Exactly, and like, you know, when we fail at things or things don't work, you can learn from that, and you think, oh, that didn't work last time. I'll do something else this time. But there's so much access out there as well now to YouTube videos and stuff like that. You can kind of get pretty much any information, like how to paint whatever. There's probably something somewhere.
Oh, definitely. Like you were saying about taking things for granted, about needing to shake the paints and such when you're first starting. Like I didn't realize until I was talking to some of the other guys about it, about how lucky I was to, like, when I literally bought my first miniatures, it was a star painting set, and I was taught by the guys in Games Workshop to tin my paints and how to dry brush.
Yeah.
And like, even that's a massive boost to just buying a set and bringing it home yourself and try to figure out why things work or don't work. You know what I mean?
Dry brushing is a very easy way to make things look good. You know, like it's a good way to get those highlights in, and you know, there's pros and cons to dry brushing, obviously, but it's a great way, particularly if you're newer, just to be like, nice.
Bit of dry brushing, bit of brush control over time.
Yeah,
and you're laughing. Says the man who slowly destroys every brush he owns.
I bought cheap £5 brushes. There's 20 of them in a pack because I ruin all my brushes all the time. I don't know why. I just do. Poor brush maintenance, probably.
Yeah, like I get brush soap and everything, and it's just, I don't know what you'll be doing to them, but they just slowly die a death.
I would never spend £60 on those perfect brushes because I would ruin them.
Well, I've bought some decent brushes and I want to give them a bash, but I'm saving them. I got some brushes from Broken Toad.
Oh, nice. I've not got any, but they're meant to be really good.
Yeah. Spud put me onto them. So Spud from Chillin' Wargamers and his Chillin' Wargamer Network. Shout out the Spud.
I've not met the man. I've spoke to him a bit. We've messaged a while, but a fair bit. I went up that way and did a lot of work with Luke from Geek Gaming, or Luke's APS.
Oh yeah, Luke's APS. Yeah.
Good friend of mine. I know he's quite Luke's area, in Spud's area, but not yet met the guy. But he seems like a nice chap.
Spud's cool, man. I met him once at a salute, I think. I've known him for years, but yeah, Spud's good people's, man. You can't go wrong.
Yeah, he seems like a good guy. There's some nice people in the community, really, aren't there?
There are some absolute gems out there. You just have to go looking for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like it's a good time in general. Like there seems to be, I don't know what's going on, but like there seems to be like some really positive vibes going on in the orcs community, and there's a big flurry of activity with the orc releases. I think right now is a really good time to be an orc player.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Like there's some old school orc players coming back into the fold now because they're like, "Well, what's going on?" You know,
That's cool.
there's some like good vibes going on. It's great. It is really good to see people doing conversions and just sort of trying to encourage people. You know what I mean? I'm not great at the hobby myself. Like I can paint between the lines. I'm not a great converter. I can dabble with some bits and pieces. But if you can get somebody else doing hobby, that's
Yeah.
always great. And this is
Yeah,
part of the reason why I do the hobby hangouts. It's like it's to get me painting and to help get other people painting. It's like brilliant.
That's it, and that's what these things are nice, and that's what's quite good now with the access of social media. And yes, you have a few people. I don't mean like YouTubers or anything necessarily, just people in general and doing everything who kind of like are ruined bits. But it's like such a small minority now. Like 99% of the wargaming community is really good. Everyone's in for it, and everyone's up for helping each other out, and like it's just nice. There's some real good gems out there now.
Yeah, and there's a lot of sharing. I think is the important thing. There's not people being cutthroat with something, or things are hidden behind paywalls the way they were like 10, 12 years ago with YouTube. There was a lot of that going on. Yeah. Now there seems to be a lot of access to stuff. You know what I mean? Like you were saying, you can how to paint and put in anything, and there's bound to be a handful at least of tutorials, or at least the length of your arm, depending on the army. And
I think people are far more like, you look on Facebook groups, someone shares a picture like, oh, it's nice when people do, they're quite excited by something. And there's so many people of varying degree of like ability. So someone might put out something like, I'm not a great painter. I'm not really great at anything. I just enjoy it and I'm okay at some stuff and not good at others and decent at others. But there's so many people who can learn from each other no matter the ability of anyone, like if someone's new, there's so many people that will happily help them out. So people put in comments, oh, that's a great army. How do you do yellow? Yeah, no problem, but here's my list. Boof. And like, how do you do that? Boof. Like everyone's really happy to like share this stuff. There's no gatekeeping and no like, no greediness in that sense. Everyone's just happy to help each other.
Yeah, encourage each other. It's brilliant. It's because it makes sense to encourage other people, because the more people that are in the hobby and the more people who enjoy it, the more likely you are to find people to play a game against.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's in your benefit to encourage people.
Yeah, and the more support the companies get, the more games and things. Whatever company, the more they can do. The same with like YouTubers, like yourself, or everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Just everyone helps everyone out. I think that's it. Like you want the enthusiasm to come across, and that's why these sort of hobby hangouts are quite cool, aren't they?
They're good crack, man. They are good crack. They are a great way to get stuff done, and the more done, the better. You know yourself.
How's the hobby going right now? I can't see you for some reason.
You can't see me. I'm hidden away, am I? I have base coated 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 gruts. I'm just putting the base layer of Elysian green on them. My plan is to then throw on a shade I have. So I have a Tonian camo shade for the shade afterwards, and then I give them a highlight of Ugrin camo. And
very good.
So I paint up my grots in a lighter tone than my boys. And to crack on. I have me test orc here, or me test grot. Ooh, I've orc on the brain. So this one, I have one on the right. I love how you say you can't see me, and then I'm like, here's one I've tried earlier.
Right. Great, thanks, buddy. I guess. I'll imagine.
Yeah, they're lighter in tone. I'm taking the approach with orcs where in the lore it's sort of as orcs get older and stuff, they get darker in skin tone. So my grots are lighter in tone than the boys, and then the knobs are darker in tone than the boys themselves. And then like war bosses and characters, I use a darker skin tone again. So for the boys, I use like a Death World Forest, which is darker than your Elysian green, and then for me characters, so I've got Deathcore Drab, which is a
Yeah.
nice sort of darkish green, but it's all sort of in the same sort of tone.
Yeah.
And I like them. Well, that's what I'm using for now. I do plan on trying more Vallejo colours. Like, well, when you're painting yourself, like what paints do you like to go to?
I've actually got the Vallejo paint set. So I've got a load of Games Workshop ones because they just are good colours to be fair. But when I got my airbrush, I got the Vallejo Air set. I got a second hand, like barely only like 3 paints had barely been touched. Got some like 90 quid, and it's like the whole set, which was great. And yeah, I've been using that really. To be honest, I use my airbrush now for all I like prime everything basically black first, and then we'll add whatever color, and then sort of through to a white zenithal, and then I'll just whack on whatever tones and colors I like. And I've actually been using it straight out of the pot as well to paint things. There's some nice because it's quite thin, but it's quite high in pigment. It's good for like covering like leather and clothes and stuff like that. I've been enjoying that. Although my new favorite paint right now, controversial possibly. I've not really played around with it much, but contrast black. Black, contrast black is my new favorite paint. It's awesome. Clothes, just so good.
Yeah. I've been messing around with contrast. I've been dabbling with stuff as well. I have some paints on order. The Vallejo Panzer Aces set. I'm looking to try that out. I've bought in a few washes as well. I found that the dark green mosh from Vallejo is a good substitute. So when my Etonian camo shade runs out, I'll be switching over to this, and tone wise, it's pretty much nearly the same.
Yeah.
Because I was shocked recently. Like, I haven't bought paints off of GW in a long time. And then I went in and I picked up 5. I think I picked up 5 paint pots. Yeah. And I think the total came to €18 or somewhere. So I handed over 20 quid and I got 5 paint pots and I got €2 something change, and I was like, what?
Yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah. So I've intentionally started to look elsewhere for my paints. So when I run out of the paints that I have here for my specific skin tone, I'm going to be phasing them out with Vallejo stuff, because I do have a few Vallejo bits. I've started to buy sets. I've actually got a small air set over there I've yet to try out. I do have an airbrush, Oliver, and I do have like an extraction boot, but I use it as like a shelf for bits. I just need to sort of...
It would make your orc life so much easier.
I know, man. I know.
I just did a video today where I was talking about like 5 essential like tips. It's more like things that I've used, and like I started using. I had it again for like a year. I had a wet palette. I had the evergreen Redgrass everlasting wet palette. Same as the army painter ones. All those. I'd never really used it. I always put my paint on like a plate or a bit of plastic or something. I started using it recently, and it's changed my life. That's really good. I think, particularly when you're blending stuff together, it's really, really handy. It keeps your paint moist for longer, so it's thinner. Don't get those lumpy, cloggy bits. Then I did like a whole paint through of an airbrush from black through to 3 different shades, and it's just good. It's just good. I love an airbrush. And then I've started using oils as well, Winsor Newton oils now, rather than washes necessarily. So things like Nuln oil now have been replaced by the Winsor Newton oils, and they're a whole different thing, really. But they're easy. It's just like, sounds complex when people talk about it. Oh, oils, and you get this, and you need to get this thinner, and blah blah blah, and like get a cotton bud. But it's quite simple, and that's been something I've really been playing around with and enjoying doing as well. So I've certainly been fiddling around with things. Scale 75, I like them as a paint set. I think they've got good paint. Scale 75 and Vallejo. Army painter, I'm not a big fan of. I don't actually. It needs some work to be good. You need to do some work.
Steve-O swears by them, but I've never.
I mean, that's personal preference, isn't it? Like people like.
That's probably part of it, though, Oliver. Is we are spoiled for choice. You can just do Games Workshop stuff. You could do Vallejo. You could do Scale 75. There's like other lines as well. Like even in and of them. There's loads of them.
Yeah.
They're spoiled for choice.
Yeah, and Games Workshop, I think the paints are good generally. They're expensive, but all paints are a bit expensive. It just depends what you like. I don't have a problem with any particular paint set, really. You get people who live and die by something and say that's awful, never use those. Game structure paints are terrible. They're not, are they? Really? Let's be honest.
Yeah, we've varying experiences in the comments section. Some folk like Dave saying Winsor and Newton oils aren't easy. Getting the paint to dilute into the white spirits is not easy. I suppose I've been a bit apprehensive with sort of mucking around with oils and the likes. And what else? What are the ones that the scale modelers use? Is it like it's not enamels, is it?
Yeah, enamels. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's using thinners and stuff like that on brushes and that
It's
type
different.
of thing.
I think it's
Yeah,
different.
it is a different thing. Yeah.
For me, the oils. I've been playing around with them more and more, and I know I went on a painting course with Miles from Little Legend Studios. He's a really, really good painter, and he sort of uses those. And Marco from NJM. I don't know if you know his channel. He's Dublin based actually. Marco Frazzoni. He uses oils for everything, and at first go, it seems quite hard and complicated, but I just basically get the oil paint a tiny bit out, get a lot of thinner in a pipette, so you don't like have to keep using your brushes and dipping and mixing stuff. Pipette it all in, get it thin. You want it to almost like a wash level, that consistency, and then you just tap it into a recess and it will auto spread itself out. So where you'd have to like maybe line something with another brush, you just tap it and it'll spread out through most of it. Once you got to that consistency, let that settle for a while, for like anything up to 8 to 24 hours or less if you want. Take a cotton bud out. Don't get like a cheap one that will tear apart. Dip it in the thinner, dry it off a tiny bit, and then you can sort of remove the excess of the oil. The oil, you can still play with it a day later. And then dip your brush in some thinner and spread it around till you've got it exactly how you like it. And you can sort of get nice gradients from like black through to grey through to nothing, and good shades by doing that. And it really helps like capes and coats and stuff like that. I found that to be useful. So yeah, that was more directed at whoever said oils are hard to use, because they can be. I think you just have to keep trying with them, you know?
Yeah, it's probably touches back on what we were already saying, where there's sort of a learning curve no matter what it is. So if it's, you're having a bash at an airbrush or...
Yeah.
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
my first airbrush models were awful. For some reason, they're like just really, everything was really thick and shiny. And I was like, oh, that's awful. And then I couldn't get the white to come out without it spitting everywhere. It was like clogging up all the time. And like, it was awful. But the more I've played with it, the more I've got used to it, the better I'm getting at it. I'm still nowhere near as good as people who are great with airbrushes. But it's usable. It's fun. It's a whole new element. It's just, I don't know, it's just reignited my hobby passion a bit, which is
That's good. That's the important thing. As long as
even if
it motivates you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're getting better at it. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It's always a cracking idea. Jesus, we're nearly there, lads. So what we'll do is I've lost track of time. I've been enjoying the conversation so much. I've lost track of time. I'll throw a link for the Discord again, and then we're gonna go have a look and see what people's work in progress has been. I'm going to try and share with Oliver so he can see. So the signal may tank a little bit on me, but we'll give it a bash. We'll share that screen. We'll click on that, and hopefully it doesn't all go whiz pop bang.
I can see you.
Hey! Right, so we're going to the live stream work in progress. So there should be there's a few images thrown in, guys. So we're going to start cracking on with them now, and then we will go through them. So we'll jump over to Discord if it works. God, yay! Happy days. Right.
Oh, that looks nice.
So, people's work in progress. Can you see that all right there, Oliver?
That looks great. Is that a big demon prince of some sort or something? I can't quite tell.
Yeah, Navani's been cracking away on his Tuska. So Tuska is sort of a war boss in the lore. There's a little snippet in one of the codexes about Tuska, who goes on a way into the Eye of Terror, ends up on a demon planet, gets killed, and Khorne enjoyed the carnage so much that he resurrects him every day. So they fight to the death. So
that's cool. That's a nice model.
That's Tuska. So Navani's doing his Tuska conversions. There's quite a few. There's a couple of guys out actually doing Tuska conversions, which is pretty sweet.
I've never heard of him. It sounds cool though. I like the lore.
Oh
nice
yeah,
skin
man.
as well, isn't it? It's a nice colour.
Yeah. It's sort of like an orangey red. Looks pretty sweet. Yeah. Got a few bits going on. Nice.
Mega conversion.
Yeah. I've this Demon Prince body, I've seen it like used in so many conversions, like especially for like because it's a nice war boss sort of size. I've seen people redo the legs, give it like bionic legs, and give it an absolute cracking conversion. But yeah,
I'm not too keen on the model as not that one, as the basic Demon Prince. It's the one with a big hand, isn't it? It's like up that way in general, but that looks really nice. I like whatever they've done with that. I like the arms.
yeah. Well, it depends. It's like I bought it when it first came out, and that was like what 8 years ago or something like that. But it's you have a choice of cracking on with stuff. So getting his paint on. Someone's painting up their Storm Boys. Nice. I love this dedication to being able to
get every bit
and get all the nooks and crannies, because by God do I regret fully assembling my looters and now trying to paint them as well. Oh my God.
Oh really?
yeah, mate. It's an orc boy with a, think of like a Zimmer frame with a gun mounted on the side, and that's right on his shoulders. Sort of. It's a nightmare. Kraken, liking the checkers and the dags. Kraken Wark Renegade. I think that's how you pronounce it, Renegade.
I've never attempted. I'm scared for them, but that's good work.
Yeah, I'll definitely, man. Gear Guts is working on something really big. So if you don't know Gear Guts, anyone who's watching, or yourself, Oliver, Gear Guts is Kyle. He's one of the guys in the orc community. He designs 3D designs. Right. He has a Patreon going on, so you can subscribe to his Patreon, and every month he cycles through new designs and then he wipes them and you start again. But he does a lot of orc stuff. It's all orky focused mostly, and this is a large bit here. I think he's going for Warlord size.
Oh wow.
Yeah, cracking. So if you're 3D printing orky stuff, get your ass over to Gear Guts' Patreon.
Looks nice.
Absolutely cracking, man. The Pale Orc.
This is like a conversion.
Yeah. Pale Orc is hand cutting rivets. He's a madman. He's one of our Australian community members. The Pale Orc. I've had him on the Hobby Hangout as well. I think there's a Land Raider under there somewhere, Oliver.
That's dedication. Look at that.
Yeah. That's cracking.
That's why I've never been an orc player. I'm too crap at converting, but that's awesome.
No. You can't go wrong with orcs. You know what I mean? I think orcs are the best ones to start converting, because you get your eye in and your hand in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just stick it on, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, give it a bash. You know what I mean? And then you'll get into the finer arts of converting it. But we all start somewhere. Cracking.
I love all the panels on that.
Yeah. He's a madman. This one. He's hand carving those rivets. Normally, it's if you can get your hands on it, styrene rod, and you just sort of slice it like a salami, makes life easier for you. But these are all hand carved.
Oh, I see what you mean now. Wow, yeah.
He's not even using, like, sometimes you can get a leather punch, and you can use a leather punch to make rivets.
Good hint.
Yeah, there's a few ways you can approach making rivets, but he's a madman. This one,
like a psychopath.
Yeah, crazy. Absolutely
very good. Nice. Unless you want to do orcs, I don't want to talk to you anymore because you're making.
Well, look, if you're allowed to be a bad influence to me, you know what I mean. I have to return the favor.
I'm keeping those Prophecy of the Wolf sets now.
Exactly. How could you give away the orky half? Let's be realistic here, Oliver. Cork and Marcos is working on his bases. They are looking sweet, dude. Nice sort of rust junky look. Cracking. I like it, man.
Got a good community here. Good bunch.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of lads keep themselves busy. He's been painting up grots as well. Good man. Nice mix he's got going on there between the new generation. We've got some second ed guys. These two are second edition with their, back when grots had auto cannons, and then he's a second edition one. And then you've got a Gorka Morka chap here.
Gorka Morka ones. I recognise them.
Yeah. There you go.
That one at the front with the pistol as well. Is that a Gorka Morka one? I think it.
This is a newer one. But the new grots, the plastic ones we have, are based off of the old poses, so they're very, very similar.
That one on the left, front left there, we're holding the pistol. That's
from the newer set as well. But yeah,
oh, wow.
they're literally guys exactly like that. Terrain, nice ramshackle look.
Get your rust out.
Exactly. You can't go wrong, man. You really can't. I like the use of the nut as a chimney. An actual nut.
Yeah.
That's
Very
cracking.
good.
Nice little details. Happy days with the granny grating, bit of cardboard. Nice.
Mm.
Very nice. Squig Boss is getting his paint on. Chipping away, Squig Boss. Good man.
Yep. It's a full-on squad there. What's that? Boys with a knob somewhere, is that?
Yeah. He's got. It looks like there's a boy squad. Bits and pieces
Yeah,
here. I've no idea what this miniature originally came from, but it looks cracking. Is it a weird boy?
Yeah.
Might be a weird boy. And I see. Do you see in there, Oliver? Have you ever played Hero Quest? I think that's a Hero Quest orc hidden in the back there.
Oh yeah, the little sword over the top.
Yeah. There's a
I
little
love Hero Quest.
little Hero Quest orc in the back there. Well, look.
Maybe not.
Do you have Hero Quest, Oliver? If you don't,
I do. And the expansions.
We have to play a game, so we have to.
Yes.
Roxy the Riveter, she has been cracking on. Oh my god, impressive work.
I don't even know what that is to begin with. That's a Land Raider bottom, by the looks of it.
Yeah.
A rhino on the top.
I think so. I think so. You can't tell. See, Roxy's that much of a dab hand with the old scratch build. You just can't tell. You really can't. The rollers, yeah, it's impressive. That's
very good. Like seamless as well.
Yeah. It's cracking. This is what we aim for. You know what I mean?
That's quite big as well, I'm thinking. If that's like, I don't know what that roller's made of, but it's very good.
It's cracking. I'm looking forward to seeing this finished up. Roxy's a dab. Well, good job, Roxy. Hans Gruber. Sorry I haven't been in a chat. Been busy with even more Skaven. Hans has been a madman with the Skaven.
Skaven? Yeah.
Yeah. His skin tones for the flesh parts of the Skaven are top notch, man. They really are cracking. You should see some of his grey sears. He's really good at painting up the white fur as well. So we're not all just orcs, you know what I mean? There's a bit of everything here as well.
A different swarm army.
Exactly. As long as we're getting hobby done. So he's got some work in progress on them. Have you ever tried Skaven yourself there, Oliver?
Only in Mordheim. That's it. I like them there, but nowhere else. I've never painted them that well.
So he has been painting some green hands. He's been painting a green retro hammer. Been painting some Fimir.
Oh yeah,
cracking.
That's lovely skin tones.
Yeah, it's nice green. Very nice green.
Good transitions as well.
Yeah.
I don't know what they are in the background. He's been very busy. Are they Skaven in the background there?
Yeah, they're the Skaven he's working on. He's been doing them in some assemblies. He's got his Fimir. Yeah, very nice. Cracking work hands. Pale Orc, the last of the bikes for the Raven Wing, need to crack on and get them painted. So he's been doing some assembly with his he calls it his Raven Wing instead of Raven Wing.
Very good, very good.
Very nice. Yeah.
Does that green stuff work as well? Or is that just green?
He does the Pale Orc paints his boys like flesh colours and paints the metal on the bikes green. So hence the green on the bikes.
Pale Orc as well, right?
Yeah, see? There you go. It's
all coming together. It's all come together now.
Exactly, full circle. Another
I like the green tint on them then. If he's doing that, it still keeps them the green look.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the cool thing about it. Is like the green on the vehicles themselves or on the armor. You're still you're looking at an orc, you're still seeing green, so your brain's like, yeah, that looks fine.
I didn't even tell they were like pale skin. Do you know what I mean? It just looks green, like green stuff from what I can see. It's very good.
So I think he's got the skin painted up on one of them, and he's still working away. Cracking work. Essex Boys, another YouTuber, cracking away. He's working on his Big Mech with Shock Attack gun, painting it a filthy yellow colour. Blech, all these bad moons everywhere. But yeah, man, it's cracking along.
Are you not a Bad Moon man yourself?
No, I only give them stick because Steve-O's a bad moon. You know what I mean? I'm blood axes for life. Us orcs do get very divided when it comes to our clans, Oliver. You know?
Yeah.
Always banging on about whose clan is best, but that is looking good. Essex Boys, cracking.
I'm happy to gun any clan down, to be honest. So.
Equal opportunities, sort of
equal right for orcs.
We've got Tom the Destroyer of Worlds. My God, Tom. He looks like he has what are they called? Tesla balls, are they?
Yeah, that's what I say, one of those big things. Yeah. I love that. I want one on a board.
He's got a Tesla ball going on, so
that looks good.
Yeah, like a mech shop or a big sort of power plant. that he's working on.
It's like a little
Yeah, 'cause he's
diorama.
got like he's got the because you said see a nice use of the terrain pieces from the the
some Mechanicum AdMech stuff, isn't it?
that's the one. Yeah, brain is slowly melting. It's like word name thing. No.
Yeah, it's the thing.
Yeah,
I like
thing.
the whole mech stuff. That's quite like that little diorama thing. Is that what's going on there?
The mech workshop. You can buy the terrain piece, the table off of it, and the wall section. So he's put it in
Oh,
there.
okay.
Yeah, cracking. Nice use of bits and pieces. Yeah, sweet. Yeah, that looks cool, man.
That's very cool.
That's very nice. Essex Boys has been working on some more bits and pieces for his big mech with shock attack one. That's the grot being sucked up.
Oh, nice. I said about orcs and barrels earlier, didn't I? I said that today.
Yeah.
Barrel.
Yeah. Oh, so this is what that's for. Tom the Destroyer of Worlds is cracking on with a Mega Gargant. Looks like a mega. That's a big boy.
Is that the guy who said it was 3D printing stuff? Is that him?
No. This isn't 3D printed. You can tell.
Yeah, that's all. So I wasn't sure if that was the legs for the big thing you were talking about or not.
No, this is different. Gear Guts is doing a different design, but this looks
very big.
Yeah, it does indeed. Yeah.
I do like the stompers. I do like the big orc stompers. To be honest, the gargant things. The huge,
the massive ones. Yeah, I'm surprised for what's it called? The Titanicus game. I'm surprised they don't have
the orc ones.
Yeah, I'm surprised they don't have the orc ones out.
Oh, is that goes in there?
Yeah, so it's like a power realm.
This is actually all coming together right now.
Yeah, that's cracking, man.
Very clever.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching the progress on this project. This looks like it's one of those slow born type of projects.
That must be big, right?
Jesus,
that must be a huge project. Like, those mechanic and things are relatively large, and then that ball must be a decent size.
Yeah, so that's a few feet tall. It must be like 2.5 or something, or 3 feet.
That train looks tiny now.
Exactly. Looking at the terrain on the inside, it looks tiny, and I'm like, oh, hold on, I know how big that is. So this thing is probably like 2.5, 3 feet across, and it's a big boy. I'm looking forward to seeing it finished, man. That is cracking. We have the red mech also painting up Gretchens. Today seems to be a day for the Gretchen getting some paint put on him.
Yep.
Smashing work. Nice. There's a fair few of them. This is the thing. The day of the Gretchen has come, and Poke has been putting together his Macari and Gazgo. Look what you're gonna be missing out on, Oliver. Look at this.
I've got to keep that model, right? I want one.
You can't give it away. You have to hold on to it. You know what I mean?
I just want. It's massive. That is a big old model.
Be mad otherwise.
Look at little Macari there. I'm glad to see Macari's back.
It is. Yeah, it's good because they killed him off in one of the bits of lore, but it was somebody else. It wasn't him. And then big mech males workshop, Essex Boys. He's been doing a bit of terrain as well. Nice, lads. Really good work.
Everyone's been very busy.
Very busy. Showing off projects that are work in progress, getting the painting done. Cool.
I've achieved nothing, so I feel.
You've been building. I've been cracking on with like a few bits and pieces here and there. I've been getting the base coat on the grots. They won't paint themselves. It's a slow burn, but we're getting there. I still think I've one or two.
The problem is I've got to finish doing what I was doing now. I can't just leave it in the cupboard and pretend I've not done it. I've
done that how many as a project myself.
I can put it back in the box, right? Just keep.
Yeah. What's the worst that can happen? You'll get back to it tomorrow, like, you know what I mean.
See you for the next hangout, yeah.
Right, yeah. Well, this is it, Oliver. You know, the next time we're on, we'll be tormenting you about it. Did you finish that terrain? It's like, I'll dig it out now, there, Skarnir.
I'm gonna lie about it and say yes, I finished it. But...
just to keep face. Put
my Gazgul together. People will forgive me.
Exactly. Distract them. It's like, look, new shiny over here. But yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks for coming on, Oliver. It's been an absolute blast. I've really enjoyed it. We definitely have to get you back on again soon, dude. Hopefully, make sure that train's done.
So it's the first time we've spoken as well.
Exactly. You're looking at the very first conversation we've ever had.
Yeah. There you go. And I'm looking forward to getting you up on the channel for some stuff, for some factiony bits and some games. It'd be nice to. Now you've got me into the whole retro gaming feel now. So
Got the retro game vibes on. Definitely, yeah. Give Hero Quest a bash. There's some Hero Quest. I always love Hero Quest. We'll sort something out. There'll be something going on in the future. We won't state exactly what, but there'll be something going on. I'm sure some collab of some sort.
we're on the same island, right? So,
Yeah, that helps. Surely, you know what I mean. That has to be something at least. You know what I mean. We have to sort something out. So
well, thank you very much, everybody, for watching and stuff. And it's nice to meet you all.
Great crack. Absolutely great crack. Don't forget, if you're not subscribed to my channel, get your ass subscribing. Hit the like buttons, notifications, all that type of stuff. And go check out Oliver's channel, Broadsword Wargaming. There is a link in the description below for this video. Click on it, subscribe to Oliver. His content is top-notch, amazing stuff. Get your ass over there, get subscribed. And we'll catch you in the next one, folks. So thanks for coming on, Oliver.
You're more than welcome.
And we'll see us all again soon. So take it easy, guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Let's see if it's